All right, we should be live. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and throw this thing up here on the other monitor so we can see ourselves. Everybody, I 100% apologize for this being such a total disaster train wreck. And I appreciate Adam here. There you are, buddy. Where's my drink? Because I need one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. So everything should be working okay. Sound good so far? Okay, yeah, we're not running all the good, cool programs.
So-
We're not even in the video. What happened here? What's the story here?
The bottom of the screen changed the look of in StreamYard.
That right there.
There we
You
go.
go. Hey, Joe, you want me to delete both of these
Yes,
old ones,
trash
right?
them. Those are an abomination to videos everywhere.
Delete forever?
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
All evidence is gone
I
forever.
understand that deleting is permanent and can't be undone.
You bet your database it's gone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, it's taking too long.
Can they hear me?
They should. I hear you.
Hello.
Do you need to go back in and readjust that gain?
No, well, yeah.
'Cause you
I don't think he
boosted it.
actually has anything to do, like, far as us controlling his volume levels. I don't think it has anything. It does anything through it because, like I said, it doesn't really run through this computer. It's Lincoln.
It's good. We're all in.
All right, so
Now everyone should hit the like button since
yeah.
all the work these two have put into this.
They need the finger button. Give me the
Oh, the
finger.
middle finger. That'd be fabulous.
We need the middle finger. Yes. The
Rick,
what?
look at the children.
I can't see it.
They're sleeping.
Yeah, well, what do you guys think? The video should look really cool. The background should be completely blown out. Everything looks perfect.
You're using the new Sony.
Yeah, the new Sony with the Sigma lens. Gil said this is the lens I needed to get. So, yes, sir.
I like your light in the background. Everything looks nice.
It should be perfect. These have a CRI rating of 97, which is anything above 95, they say, is like really good. So I've got 3 main lights that are RGB. I have a hair light, and I even have a freaking up light here. So,
Oh, look. Rick, you're getting lots of middle fingers. So, like, found it.
sweet.
I had to approve that message.
Well,
So
since we ain't gonna even try to monetize this one, thank you. I appreciate
they
it.
said pull the main breaker, contact voltage test, and oh yeah, Adam, they were wanting you to blink your eyes. They said it was 5 blinks, which is, I forget what they said, like a really bad fault code.
I feel like you guys might be a little bit hot still.
Okay, well, we can fix that.
Hot.
It's hot, hot, hot.
Man, we're getting lots of middle fingers.
I appreciate that, guys.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of middle fingers. Thanks, guys.
I love that. Because I'm to the point where I just don't give a shit now. So we're gonna have fun. The screw making it look cool. We're just gonna have fun. You're gonna have so much fun. You're gonna be singing zippity doo dah out of your pooper hole. What movie did that come from?
Pretty much what we do every Friday.
I'm telling you, man. It's what I need to do.
But yours works every Friday. There's a difference.
Hell yeah. It's one of them things where, I try to make
I messed up a lot of times in the past, and then I figured as soon as I got it set right, I'm like, don't touch anything. If my computer crashed and I need a new computer, I'd have to start all over again.
Yeah. I mean, we had it. Everything was perfectly fine, was looking good. And I have no idea. It looked really cool. I hate this thing. And honestly, I'm going to leave this stupid stream crap up there. I paid them for this month, but I'm saving that for later for a special occasion. So, yeah. Everybody out there, Randy, hey, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming back in. And Chris Volt, appreciate you coming in. I love all the messages and stuff.
Shannon said, meanwhile, somewhere, a 14-year-old girl is having a perfect stream with 5 guests and superb audio. Thanks, Shannon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and they asked if this is the new like button, the middle finger.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I would say probably now with the $600 mixer, the camera and all that crap, we're probably $2,000, $2,500, and you got people that can just do it with their phone and get the same results. But
Yeah, don't tell my wife I'm way over 225.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, my one mixer I run off my Apple or iPad or whatever, that was like I think it was $1,000 just for that. They don't count the microphones and all the speakers. The speakers, my God, there's 5,000 or 6,000 in speakers, and it doesn't even get used anymore. But
she's like, when are we going to start making money on this? Like all your friends. I'm like, we're making money right now.
yeah,
Wow.
Just
right.
don't tell her about it.
Let's not talk about how much we're making. Just we're making money.
Yeah, I think my last live stream made $5. So yeah, that's not.
Oh,
ain't gonna
and
make
I
nothing.
made what, $9.99, which thank you.
Yeah, I gave her a 20, and she bought dinner the next day.
Bill, he's like, what crazy antics did I miss?
Oh, Billy Bob Thornton,
So,
you missed out on all the good stuff.
just
Laura
so you
screwed it up
know-
royal.
No, I didn't. I don't know what happened, but the new like button is the middle finger. Oh, so that'd be funny if on overtime, you guys they start seeing all these random middle fingers in your chat. You'll know why.
Yeah, if you guys watched it here, give everybody at the overtime show the middle finger. Let them know you care. You're listening to the sounds of the middle finger.
We get more thumbs down than you. I'll tell you that.
You get them or I do?
No, we get more than you.
I'm not going to say much, but I usually have 6 or 7 max, but that's usually about it. I'm to the point now where I don't let it bother me a whole lot.
You don't have any crackers or anything, do you?
Why is he whining?
Yes, he's whining.
He wants to go live.
Put him up here.
Eli, come here. You want to go live? This has been a disaster anyway. Come here, you little pug. Now you woke the other pugs up. Come here.
Now, if only we had Yamo.
There we go. Say something to the people, Eli. Say hello, HVAC land. How y'all doing? Can you say that for me?
He's the grumpy one.
Yeah. You wanna whine for everybody? Tell him you want a cookie or a snack or something. He's not even doing nothing. Look at him. He's just holding still.
He wants his daddy.
He smells what you do. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, you should have brought some snacks.
So someone up here wants to know. This is a good question. So is aluminum minimum coils fixable with AL 822, or is it not worth trying, boys?
I have got solder welds sending me a kit, so I'm gonna find out. Yeah. I'm hoping I get it here shortly, and so I'm gonna do some videos of doing, because I like brazing, as you guys can tell. I do it a lot in my videos, and I am up for the challenge. I mean, with my dad having welding experience and stuff like that, building $5 million military tanks, they did all kinds of crazy crap with aluminum and stuff. So the biggest thing is oxidation. Aluminum almost immediately oxidizes. So the flux they got and stuff like that, all that stuff's gonna be critical using a clean stainless steel brush. So what I'm gonna do when I get my kit is I'm gonna talk to I don't know what exactly his title is, but we're going to get together. I'm gonna find out exactly how to use his product so that I do it justice. And I've got that aluminum coil that I changed that everybody kind of talked about and stuff, that you could have fixed it or you could have just taken off the bottom loop or whatever. So I'm going to punch some holes in there, big holes, little holes, maybe take a hacksaw blade and cut a little bit in the side. I'm going to see if I can putty over it. And then we'll play some different shenanigans with it and see what it can do.
Oh, here's a good comment. We've actually watched this. He said you should watch Roger Wakefield braise if you want to have a heart attack.
Good or bad?
Well, you watched them and you were like, well, yeah, that's okay. It's not how I like to do it, but
Did I see him do it?
yeah, because I showed you.
Is that Roger Wakefield? Is that dude, the plumber?
The plumber. Yeah, I like him.
I do like him, and he has an awesome video setup that he does, and he looks really professional and everything.
Does he look this good though? We bought shelving.
Right.
It's going to be different next week.
He looks really good. He looks just as good or slightly better. Because I messaged him like, wow, what a nice setup you have there. But anyways, I started watching his video on how to braise. And at the beginning of the video, I was like, man, this could be really good. I'm going to send this to my new guy so he could learn how to braise. And I was watching it. I'm like,
No.
Mm.
It's the plumber, man. They specialize in turds going downhill.
Look at this one. Rick, look.
Can you recommend a combustion tester in Wisconsin? I'm using for package units, furnaces, boilers.
I have I like my Bacharach Insight Plus. I think it's an awesome combustion analyzer. But I've also been looking at, because of MeasureQuick, that new, is it made by AccuTools, the Blue Flame?
Yeah. The only thing I'd be worried about them is they're a new player in the game. And so, Backrack ain't going nowhere. UEI ain't going nowhere, and neither is Testo. Testo, I mean, some of their stuff's usually top notch, but some of it's hit and miss. It's like you got to pay the big bucks if you want the really good stuff.
Like,
Otherwise,
I have a Testo carbon monoxide detector, and that thing seems like it's a Fisher Price toy, like junk.
I got the hot wire anemometer, and I talked to the engineers and stuff, and he's like, "Oh yeah, blah 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 blah." I wasted $115. So no,
I need to spend more than that. I have the field piece, and I like it a lot. The field piece hot wire. You know what I mean? Like, Bacharach is a great tool. I like Bacharach. The one thing that's bad, it's bad and good about Bacharach, is they have like basically a time on their sensors. It's like when you put a new sensor in, you need to input the code on the sensor, and then a timer starts. So sensors go bad. Oxygen, carbon monoxide sensors go bad after a certain period of time. So if you turn on your combustion analyzer after the time frame where your sensor goes bad, it won't even let you start it. It's like, this needs to be replaced right now. You can't do anything, period.
Well, some of the better ones, you can actually change them without having to send them back. So if you're researching them,
you just order the sensor from TrueTech Tools and you plug it in, but you need to enter the date code.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. So basically they have a timer, so you could probably hack it, but then you're just screwing yourself probably.
Yeah, because then you're not getting a proper reading, right?
Correct.
Now look at his name. Are you having an identity crisis, Adam? I think we need to have an intervention, guys.
For the ones that always complain about me chewing gum.
Ooh, we're doing ASMR. We're doing an ASMR.
I don't do it on purpose, people.
After I looked that up, watching Clive's video a couple weeks back, now it's like popping up in my feed in YouTube all the time, like ASMR videos. I'm like, no, I need to scrub my history. This is awful.
So, yeah, you need to tell us, Laska, why they need calibrated yearly. I'm curious now.
I don't think the Insight Plus does. I mean,
may have something to do with jurisdictions of where you're working at too, and who you're working for. Because a lot of government people, that was when we used it the most. When we did government jobs, we had to prove that the furnace we put in was efficient and it was burning good, and which is always what I love. Because like on a new in-shop 90 plus furnace, other than adjusting the gas pressure, what are you going to do to change the efficiency? How are you going to adjust the air? You're going to start sticking things in the pipe and blocking it off?
He says that they don't like the cold, which I know a lot of people that complain about the cold. But yeah, he says they have to send them out every year to be recalibrated. That's interesting.
Not mine. And I've talked to the engineers at Bacharach because of changing the sensors actually multiple times, because I never write down how to do it. And there's like some function you need to get into to set and everything. And I've talked to them, and I think you do have to have mine calibrated after a certain period of time, but like the sensors you could change them. You could field change them,
Thanks, Winston. You don't need to encourage him.
If I haven't lost you by now, you ain't going nowhere.
You guys are really desperate for some entertainment tonight, obviously.
We are a disaster for looking for a place to be seen.
We're burning this ship alive, folks.
Like, screw it so bad that it's just never going to go aired again. So if you're watching this live now, enjoy it, because this thing is not going to be up. It's going to go bye-bye.
Yeah, like Cam said, they're the diehards.
Bill should come in here right now.
Yeah, Bill, what are you doing?
Or Joe. But Joe's kind of like a snob when it comes into...
He's a Canadian bacon eater.
He doesn't like coming in on other people's streams. He says there's too much overtime out there.
Oh, yeah. I think he's just so dang rich, he ain't got time to come down to our level.
Well, no, it's because he knows he can keep himself hidden on the overtime stream, but if he starts branching out to other people's streams, then his witness protection program thing, Mafia, whatever it is, will get blown sky high.
Could be.
And Luigi's not there to sub for him.
He still hasn't got his shirt. Stupid thing's still sitting here. I wish
Yeah.
you would have picked a better color because I just wear the dumb thing, but I think it's
Or
ugly.
eventually we may just give it away.
Yeah. Joe, you got 1
Ooh.
week to claim your freaking shirt. I'm going to give it away.
Curious. Look what he's doing. He's doing secret stuff. Yeah.
Go crazy, Bill. Go crazy.
You know,
Look what we got. $1.99. Thanks, JD.
hey, we got our first super chat on Friday, and guess who it was from?
Who?
Joe.
Yeah, I thought that was
Really?
awesome. Yeah, that was before you came home, I think, or before you got on.
He sent $5, and at the end of the stream, it said your revenue so far for minus the views for today's show is $3.80. I'm like, way to go, Joe! You just paid YouTube $1.20.
Yeah, I was busy Friday night. I freaking got sent 80 miles away to go from.
Chloe's like digging at your crotch.
Yeah, she's going nuts for the apple.
She's literally going nuts for the apple.
Got sent to a grocery store, which, we have the remote computer and stuff. Go ahead and get that. Come on.
She can't get it. She's so short.
You got it? Got it.
Okay,
Good.
she got it.
Now you got what you want. Now go away.
All is well.
So
No, she
went to the grocery store and it was low on charge. Freaking old flipping rack, which I ought to upload it to show a little bit of something, but freaking leaking around all the sort valves, leaking on the king valves on the receiver, going in and going out of the receiver. And this receiver, I mean, it's that tall, So, I dumped a measly 60 pounds area into this thing, and, it's got a full sight glass now, but you're not even on the little balls on the bottom of the receiver. And we have a tendency to run these really low just so that if we ever have a big leak, you're not losing a crap load of refrigerant before you know it. So if we get a small, medium leak, it's going to start not performing correctly and it's going to trigger alarms. And basically, that's why we do it. So did the leak searched up on the roof. A big old monster storm came through. I think I sent that to you, didn't I? Was I talking to you? No, that was Ryan I was talking to. And basically, I got out of there, I think at like 8 o'clock or something. And then as I'm getting ready to leave there, I got called for a little chiller. And they make plastic like things for Airstream trailers. Those things are made like freaking 45 minutes from my house. And which I'm surprised they're so expensive. So this place builds the little plastic moldings and stuff. And this thing is in a warehouse that I'm like, I didn't even know it was a building that was like inhabited. And I'm pulling in thinking I'm going to get robbed. And because, they had no signs that was really looked like they were still in business. Going in there, I got a video of that just a little bit. And here it come to find out it was a ream. Yeah, it was a ream. I would say probably 10 ton at least, maybe 15 ton. It looked like two big old condensers hooked together into one with the big compressor in the middle. And I think it was a scroll compressor. Comes out of that and goes out of the side and down into a aluminum box. And it had a TXV on the outside, and it literally loops into this puddle of water in this little box. And it has a circulator pump coming in and going out. And I'm like thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're talking monster chiller, freaking tubes are probably, plugged up, probably got some major issues, big circuit board, can't figure it out, what am I getting into? I get there and that's what I run into. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Some homemade, if you want to call it a chiller, because it's making the water cold, I guess, That was the excitement. And then yesterday I ran 3 other calls, but today I had nothing. So yeah.
Shannon was asking if how it is in Illinois or Chicago with COVID. My wife's like freaking out because it's spiking like crazy, and I have noticed like people are just like not wearing masks anymore, like out in public.
Yep.
You guys are a liberal state, though. You'd think everybody'd be on
You shouldn't have COVID over there in Chicago.
I live in a
suburb.
It's a fairly conservative suburb, but like you go to Chicago where it is very liberal, and if you walk outside whatsoever, everyone has masks on, even if they're walking down the street by themselves. I'm like, what are these morons doing? Like they're gonna catch COVID from the tree, or what's going on here? But
I didn't know what the laws were because I heard, some states, or actually it ain't even a law. They're going to have a fun time enforcing this. I can't wait till it all goes to court. You have the right to be an idiot. And I'll do it for others, and I have to when I'm at work because, I'm representing the company. But after that, it's funny. We go to church, and all the people that are susceptible, because we have a lot of old folks at our church, none of them wear a mask. And I'm thinking, well, if you ain't going to wear yours, I'm not wearing mine.
Yeah, you think the people that would need it, and
Go ahead.
it's everywhere all of a sudden. Because JD said that they were spiking in Massachusetts, but I mean around here, I think what I saw Thursday, 93% of Ohioans live in a high peak county right now, which is kind of crazy.
Honestly, when I'm old though, like I right now, I feel like I am tired and I am like pushing 40. I'm not even 40 yet, right? But like I could see myself being like 65, 70 and this happening and just having the mindset like I don't give a crap. Whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? I've had a good run. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Check that out. So JD said it's a $300 fine for no mask in their town. So I guess I wonder how
Where you be at there,
he's in
JD?
Massachusetts, but
Where's that at? That's over to the east, right?
I'm not even going to answer that.
Yeah. I went to public school.
Well, so did I, but I still know where Massachusetts is. But I guess how can they do that? A $300 fine.
They can pass an ordinance and probably for the betterment of good. But I can't wait for some of these to want to just prove their point and they go to the Supreme Court over it. Would be curious to see. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I'm to the point where I've thought about just going around, start licking handles, and just be done with it because I want to get it done and over with.
It is like all right. I'm a little bit nervous too because my wife has she has allergy-induced asthma. She has asthma overall as well too. My daughter has asthma as well.
Yep, I do too.
And then my wife, I don't know if this would play into it, but she has a kidney disease. So like any underlying conditions they say could cause issues. So, it could potentially be really bad for my wife or my daughter, which was.
What was that?
Your phone.
Somebody texted me. Who is it?
So my brother actually had a positive COVID test on Friday, which was interesting. And he works at like a ambulance manufacturer.
Why don't you just tell him where it is? Whatever.
And he said there were like 7 or 8 people there now that have it, and he got it from one of his other engineer friends that had it. But when my brother got tested like 2 weeks ago, they did the rapid testing and it said he was negative. And now all of a sudden he had the PCR or the molecular testing and he's positive.
Bill is a AC/DC guy. Check that out.
Bill, behave.
Little more
legs.
freaking light on the picture, dude. That
Look
makes
at
it.
those legs.
Yeah.
Bill wears short shorts, guys.
Dun, tsh, dun, 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 tsh, dun, 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 tsh.
I took my 2 boys to see AC/DC. I think it was 4 years ago now. It was their last show, I think, ever. It's going to be now in Chicago at Wrigley Field.
Really?
I spent a crap ton of money on tickets because I had it. There was either you could be on the field for the show or you could be in the stands. And I was thinking, like, if they're on the field, they're not going to see over people's heads. So I bought from one of those ticket brokers or whatever, right on the wall in Wrigley Field. So,
a scalper?
but like a legal scalper,
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's legal ones.
Yeah, but like right on the wall of Wrigley Field. So we were like right there, and it cost a lot of money, but it was awesome. It was worth it. My sons love AC/DC.
And that's funny because, I mean, as I was growing up, they were Antichrist, devil child or whatever they were. And so I stayed away from it for the longest time until, I started DJing and stuff and I ended up buying them, Metallica and all the other ones that were supposedly bad and stuff. So AC/DC has always been one of my rock bands that I've always liked. And they just are some of the classics that I just really, really like.
You like AC/DC? They're pretty tame compared
Yeah.
to like today's standards of like rap and all the other stuff that goes on,
Well, Well, my thought was always, I was in the rap music. So worst case scenario, they were always talking about drugs and having sex. So to me, that was better than straight out telling God to go to hell. So, I kind of justified that as if I'm going to do something that ain't good, I'd rather, just do things that aren't socially acceptable versus actually telling the creator that, I don't want you. So, that's why I kind of tried to avoid it. So that's my twisted mindset there. So you guys watch the video? They suck. Did you like them at all? Did they kind of, did you guys get anything out of it? I know the freaking generator, a lot of people don't have a lot of interest in it, obviously, in the beginning, which eventually gets the views eventually. And then same thing on the residential unit there. That was kind of a simple one, but kind of just frustrating because there were so many things wrong that was just, 10 gauge wire ran. It was one thing after another, but that was quite an interesting one. I've got a crap load of other videos. I'm going to start dumping them there. I didn't think they were all that great, but if somebody gets something out of them, I'm just going to start running them and just be done with it because they're sitting there eating up hard drive space.
What does that mean? I'm confused. And it's 6'4".
Going down the street in my 6'4".
Oh, that's NWA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't listen to them.
And Ice Cube, it was not Ice Cube, but
Rick,
yeah.
I got a question for you. So I know that you are certified to work on generators, but are you certified to install them?
Are you talking from like a local municipality or whatever standpoint?
Just whatever. Like what,
they're brain dead to install. Freaking just tie in your main and you got your freaking transfer switch. And so either you do it the generic way where they sit there and do each individual circuit, which I don't like, or a whole house transfer. My feeling is I tell people, cry once, pay once. Go ahead and get the 25,000 or 20,000 watt aluminum enclosure with the whole house disconnect. If you're going to waste the money, you might as well waste it good. And that way you can run everything under the sun that you want. Because what I always ran into is these idiots that buy a 7 kW or an 8 kW. Oh, I want to run my air conditioner. I want to run the dryer. I want to run this. And it's like, you freaking idiot. You're lucky you can run your furnace. It's 7,000 watts. And a lot of these generators are rated on LP gas to get higher ratings. Very few of them really reach the kW that they're rated for with natural gas. So because LP runs hotter and you got more BTUs in it, that's how they get the higher things. Now, some of the generators are actually had lower. But yeah, as far as being certified, like my house here, we have no electrical inspector outside of the city limits, so I didn't have to have any electrical inspection for my house. But I made dang sure when I wired it up. I used almost close to 2,000 feet of 12.2 when I did my house, and it's only an 1,800 square foot house. Every room's on its own circuit. I went overboard. What are you guys doing?
The wrestling.
I'm getting tired of it. So, yeah.
We're doing the Frank Lloyd Wright house I'm working on right now. They have a big, I don't know if it's 20 kW or 25 kW generator being installed. And they're doing the only reason why I know this because they asked me how everything works downstairs because they're doing load shedding on the different circuits. So like if something's overloaded, the generator's overloaded, it will start turning things off.
Is it Generac?
Generac, yeah.
They've got a couple different boxes. They've got this. Do you already know, or I don't want to tell you the crap if you already know it.
I don't know. I have no idea about it. All I know is like run gas to it and call it a day.
It's not complicated. Are interlocks legal by you?
What are interlocks?
I believe he's talking about far as you have to turn off the main before you can turn on the feed into it. Basically keeps you from back feeding on the pole. We always did it with a whole house, a certified transfer switch. Either we used one of those generic ones that, you can buy and wire up each individual circuit. But we, on mine, to make it simple, I used like this little metal thingy that has to be moved. I paid like $70 for it. So you have to turn the main off before you turn on the 30 or 40 amp that would feed technically back into the panel. But now that I got mine out in the barn area so that I can keep it away from the house, I'm not even doing, I just make dang sure that I turn off my main first. But as far as the generator's load shed, basically what they're doing, they got two ways of doing it. they've got inside the one transfer switch, they've got a little module in there, and basically it's low voltage brake. And so you can run that to your air conditioner. And what happens is if the frequency drops below, I think 58 hertz for so many seconds, it'll either drop 1, 2, or 3 loads. You put them in priority of what you want. And they will break one leg to your air conditioner, basically low voltage, so you don't have to run anything at conduit. Yeah, I see them. I'm answering a question here. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher has entered the building. It's the one and only, the HVACR video god. Thank you for embracing us with your presence, oh dear HVAC god, and welcome to the Loser Show.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Suck.
That's not how we practice. You were going to say it, and I'd like to be re-entered again.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble.
Wow.
How's
Yeah.
that working out for you?
I don't give a crap. This thing sucks. Everything's screwed up tonight. Like I told her, you said we should have fun doing it. I'm just gonna have fun. I don't give a crap. Tonight is one of those. Who cares?
Just do it like
It is. It is a total disaster train wreck. So it's like whatever.
How do I can't figure out how to.
So we lost power a couple weeks ago, and I have this crappy. I was trying to save money. I bought one of the Ryobi inverter generators. You know,
2,000 watt if you're lucky.
yeah, it was like 2,000.
Shut the front door. Look, hey, Chris, look at this is the new, just so you know, this is the
Hey,
new
Chris.
thumbs up.
How you like this? How you like them double cookies?
Hey, Chris. What the?
That's our new thumbs up.
I'm turning them against you. That's the big picture.
Hey,
Don't go to bed angry.
do the this one.
Okay.
Oh, look who it is!
Look who it is.
What's up, guys? And gals?
From the garage with no internet.
I heard
Everyone-
the
You know.
music. See, Rick's got you guys do that?
Okay, that's
Pump
enough.
you up. That music.
Hell yeah, it
pumps
makes
you
me want to
up.
get in a fight. Let's get up.
Oh, look at this one. This is a good comment right here. This.
What the?
He
I
made
like
you
it.
look.
What did I join right now?
That's what
Well, it crashed and burned twice. It was worse than poor Adam had all those issues. I got
What
I
did
got
you
it.
figure out? Was it an audio thing?
I don't care. I have no
We
idea.
have no idea.
I don't care. I'm playing with the free StreamYard. I don't care right now.
it was a OBS thing.
It probably was OBS.
Hey Adam, when me and Chris were trying to get in, I tried calling you to tell Rick to send the link again, but Chris told me to try again, and for some reason the third time it worked.
Really? Okay. Yeah, it should have. That last one there, because that's the one that Adam there came in on. I mean, Curious Chris Savanovich.
So can I tell you something really rigged that I did? With my power on?
No,
You wouldn't do anything rigged, would you?
Super rigged. But I
Okay.
talked about it.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So the debate was on, right? This is the first debate. My wife was like serious about watching the debate. And
Hell is that?
that's he's smoking the
somebody gave me a couple of them. He's like, yeah, try them. They're not bad.
Is that one of those vaping pins or something?
Yeah, but there's
marijuana juice.
smoke inside.
It's got stuff in there. It's illegal activities of some sort.
Is
I'm
that
not
stuff
happy.
illegal in Canada?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Legal.
Guys can't have no guns and you can't have no weed. Man,
Isn't it pretty much legal everywhere in the
Legal.
United States now?
not here in Ohio.
Yeah, it is.
Legal.
Is it? Yeah,
Well-
I guess you can get it.
But like individual towns, regular.
Yeah,
Or
base.
if you could sell them, you could use it in the town, but you might not be able to have a store that sells it in the town.
No. Well, like we cut you off with your story, Adam,
I
but
know.
As
And
you
That was mine too.
in our area, we
Sorry,
voted like there was a bunch of
The
things
hell?
to like allow more because we have pot shops everywhere, and I'm so sick of them. They're crappy looking, so it's like no, I don't want any more pot shops in my area. We have enough.
I just want to tell how I everything in my house.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Tell us your story about how you effed everything in your house.
I didn't do it, but I just want to see what would happen with the.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I barbecued some asparagus and I just kidding.
Was it good?
Yeah,
Talk, Adam.
Johnny Fish Lips over there.
Adam, I think you need to change your backdrop again.
So you gonna copy my backdrop now? Are you?
I'll shut him up.
Oh,
Yeah, he's going to bring it. There you go.
Why is it precariously poised between the?
You know what that kind of looks like?
That looks really weird.
It looks kind of like two nuts and freaking little Peter in the middle.
A little Peter, a shrunken Peter on a cold minus whatever.
Why did I become the person that became synonymous with pineapples? Like, thanks, Adam.
Whenever we're talking to you, you're like, guys, I can't talk to you tomorrow night because we're having a party with our friends.
JD, it ain't even going to be monetized. This thing's a disaster. I freaking yeah. Oh god, I did all kinds of stuff I shouldn't have said on the other one because I didn't know it was live.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh god. I mean, I was getting ready to beat the dogs and just get crazy in here and yeah.
I got the first caller on my cell. You know what? He got my cell phone number quick because I got a message. I was just telling these guys in private, that private group there. Anyways, I got a message saying, "Hey, it's so and so from blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's a guy's furnace I installed not too long ago." But in this area is known for a lot of Italians with the same name, and same name and same furnaces I put in. Anyways, long story short, it's not one I put in. He actually found me on. He can't remember if he got me off Clive's or my channel. And he came in overtime. He said once, but he's gonna come by more often. And the first time somebody actually got me.
You got some business from it. Okay.
Yeah.
You tell
And
me
they still hired you.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
Yeah. He called me for a problem. He has Lennox, and he also has a rooftop. The rooftop, I told him I'm not gonna explain on the phone. I have no way. But he has a furnace. I think it's kicking off on high limit. It's 4 years old. Lennox.
Yeah, they don't surprise me. Between that and pressure switch failures on those, I mean, I did a video and I was so derogatory. It's like I can't even use this.
So, real quick, someone in the chat was talking about where's Bill at or something. Bill shaved his beard off, and he's afraid to come onto the show now because my beard looks more manly than hers. So he doesn't want to come on the show.
Well, he did catch it on fire and then lost about a good portion of it when he was sitting there working on that oven. So I mean,
so he shaved it off, and now he that.
And he's not allowed to.
Sunglasses. He lost his sunglasses too, so he's like, he looks like a naked baby with blue eyes. So
well, and they found it to be a fire hazard, so he's not allowed to grow it back. So
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
And they had to what's it called? Vent out that place for at least a month for all that burning hair smell.
Burning pubes.
Rick.
Huh.
Yeah.
I am now a member of the Bald-Faced Yellow Deli clan. Welcome, brothers.
Yellow belly.
I'm never gonna live down the Yellow Deli, am I?
Nice.
That's my cult that I was invited to.
Do you guys got any stories of how you jerry-rigged anything?
Yeah, Adam.
Jerry rig everything. Isn't that a YouTube channel?
It
Yes,
is.
and we do like to watch
I
him.
mean,
Keep a furnace going.
it's a
You can
super
tell them that.
story. Super quick story, right? I'll finish it very quickly. So our power went out. My wife wanted to watch the debate, and I ran an extension cord from this crappy little generator into the bedroom so we could turn on the TV. I turned on the TV, nothing's working. I remember, oh shoot, we have internet streaming, so I need to get the internet working too. So I'm like, give me a second. So I pulled the extension cord back out to the garage, and I brought it over to where I hung my furnace, and I have an outlet. Okay, don't try this at home. But what I did was I stripped a white 12 gauge wire, and I stripped a black 12 gauge wire, and I stuck it in the extension cord, and then I stuck it in the outlet.
Yep, I know what you did.
Before I did that, I turned off the main to my house, so I powered half the house. I didn't let everything run,
Nice.
right? But I had half my house powered off a 2,000 watt generator, and it worked. I was able to power the. Yeah.
It's funny how you say that because I want to jerry rig, well, not jerry rig, but convert a gas generator. Is that, what was that?
Really,
Anyways.
Rick?
And
Get
I was
together.
going to do the same thing. You know how they come with the generators, they come with the main disconnect safety panel bar, whatever you want to call it. So you have to shut off the main before you turn on the generator. Well, I was gonna just do that myself. Power to the panel, and when I use my generator, I'll just shut off the main, and so I don't get backfeed and run the generator.
All you have to do is cut an extension cord. If you cut a 220 cord, whatever you cut, you could just plug it in, right? You could
you just splice into the
Yeah.
female side of the cord.
You have to. You really should.
Oh no, I didn't just tell someone to do that. Never mind.
You have to turn off. You shouldn't do that. That's
You
not.
shouldn't go male plug to male plug and use like a 50 amp plug that you'd use
But
on an oven.
The Pope says you can use male plugs on male plugs now,
Yeah,
according to the Pope.
That's what
You're gonna kill somebody. Well, you're not gonna kill somebody probably, but you might startle. You're gonna hurt somebody if you don't turn off the main, right? You're gonna
you could backfeed it and
a worker somewhere is gonna get a buzz.
I mean, they always work on it like it's freaking live, just like a cop always treats it as if you have a gun in the car. So I mean, yeah.
Seen a lot of those videos lately.
What's that?
Look at that. He says, "Is it just me, or does Joe North sound smarter without sunglasses?"
You got the good ones tonight in here, bud.
Oh, dude, these are my dedicated people out there, man. These are my awesome followers. I don't know why they even like me, because I did a horrible job getting this thing going. It was a disaster. Absolute disaster.
We're on the topic of electrical. I want to ask you guys. I don't know if any of you guys have this. The three of you. Does anyone have like the yellow jacket widowmaker? Do you guys?
Yeah.
Widowmaker?
I have, homemade
Not the yellow
one.
jacket one, just the regular one.
I have the yellow jacket one.
Do you use that on a normal basis?
For getting power off the condenser?
Yeah.
Every day. Absolutely. There's no reason not to.
It's very rare that I use it.
I use it all the time. I've never had a problem in 25 years. I've even upgraded it and added a fuse and a ground. So it's better than it's ever been.
Someone made a really good point in my live stream that if you use that, you should plug in a GFCI receptacle and then plug into that. That's actually a pretty smart
Well, sure. Yeah.
way to do it. So
And better yet, we should probably put down virgin rubber so we're isolated from the ground too.
Right? Like, who's going to do all that?
And wear a face mask and a full body shield.
Well, the problem with the Widowmaker is if you send someone who's not thinking straight and he tries to wire into a 480 volt unit, that's the problem. You get a Widowmaker and someone thinks, okay, yeah, I can get power from anything, and then he gets 277, and
Well, hopefully it's 277 and ground.
yeah, but
that's why I actually switched over to one that has the lighted plug. So it's neon bulb. So supposedly it won't. I haven't tried hooking it up to it, but it's supposedly, if it like lights up and goes dead, chances are it's probably not 120 volt per leg.
I don't think Yellow Jacket makes them anymore, to be honest.
probably not.
They sell them. You can buy them. I don't know if it was JB.
I think Yellow Jacket quit it. I mean, realistically, it's not the safest thing to be using, right?
I use it all the time. I mean, all the time. I've never had a problem. So, I mean, I think they're illegal, but, whatever.
Yeah.
But as long as you're careful.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times where you don't check.
Yeah, I'd rather have someone, like a technician using it than a normal DIY homeowner, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
some freaking rogue techs out there that don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, I got into a conversation on Facebook with somebody. They were talking about, what were they talking about? Some BS that somebody like hacked in or whatever. And it's like, a lot of times service techs are use code for window maker cords. Yeah, why not? But like, a lot of people are thrown into the field as service techs and not being like we talked about this on Friday, right? I had no business at 19 running service on my own, and I screwed up, right? And there's people who do that, and
absolutely,
yeah, I had no business. The story that I told too was trying to swap out a gas valve and not tightening the other one down, and then coming back the next day and my dad smelled gas. And there's things we shouldn't have done, we should have been able to do, but we did, and hopefully we learned from them. So
yeah, when it comes to gas now, it's just gas is like one thing I do not screw around with. You just have to cap it. It's code actually here that you have to cap it. before you leave it. You know what I mean? It's nice to just leave it. Sometimes you don't have the cap or the pushing cap or whatever, but it's just so dangerous because that valve opens or somebody turns it on and you're filling that house with gas. You're going to level that place.
Yep.
And whoever's inside of it.
They could hit it while they're carrying something out and not even know they turned it on. Yep.
Absolutely.
Scary stuff.
Worst case scenario, man. Plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Laska. And I was telling this guy, it was funny because I was just on the phone with him. We were talking about furnaces, and he was telling the unit he has somewhere else in Toronto. I think it's a rental or something in a restaurant. It's a house/restaurant. And he was saying that the furnace didn't last more than 6-7 years. And I would go, I'm sorry. When I hear that, I'm saying installer error. A furnace should not last less than at least 12 years. I'm sorry.
Not
at
just
least.
installer error. It could be salesman error too. It could be like sizing. It could
But it falls on everybody. I mean, because in a perfect world, an installer knows when he's doing something that's not right. In a perfect world,
an installer might not know if it's sized correctly. Let's be honest.
but they should.
Okay. Let's not even go size, Adam. But let's go even just setting the gas pressure, clocking the furnace. And we were just talking about this. I was going to bring it up Friday. I was supposed to bring it last Friday, but we got caught up with talking about other things. But sometimes it's beneficial to clock that furnace, to set that regulator at the proper, spec, because they're not. Yeah, go ahead.
We were just talking about this. Me and Joe were. I don't think we talked about it on the show, Joe. We talked.
No,
about
I wanted to.
But Rick, me and Joe were talking about this as like talking about Jim Bergman and Steve Raritan. That's what we were going after as far as like combustion analyzing and that. And both of them were on a kick. Like, if you're doing a combustion analyzing test, this is the range what it should be in. And if it's not in that range, you need to set the gas pressure for 3.5. And if it's still not in that range, you need to drill the orifices or replace the orifices.
Yes.
So that's like a huge liability, right? I mean, if you're gonna, you can dial it in like that. Yeah. But you are taking, if you don't know what you're doing, you are taking a huge.
I wouldn't tell a technician. Maybe in the day to drill them out, proper drill size or whatever. I would just go to the manufacturer, lean on the manufacturer.
Do not like So I've talked to Train on this.
Yeah,
they have 2 orifices. They have natural gas and they have propane.
That's it.
That's what they have. They say they said if it's natural gas, you leave them in and you set it for 3.5, and it's close enough. That's all we want to do, and it's close enough. 3.5 is close enough, So it might not be burning properly or perfect, whatever, but that's what they say.
Carrier gives you a range of 3.2 to up to 3.8 something. And so, and they've got multiple different orifices. Yeah. Because all you can do is increase the gas or decrease it, which what's going to happen to the oxygen? It's going to stay the same. So it goes up, goes down. And if it ain't in that range and you're really that freaking worried about it, I'd call out the rep and let them deal with it. That way they can get in trouble for putting the unregulated crap in there.
You guys see what John
said? Sometimes, like you and I know, from the factory, they're testing their furnaces something, and then these gas valves, correct me if I'm wrong, they're all made by the same general people, Honeywell, what's the other
White
Rogers. Right, and they're set to something else. So sometimes you could get that bogus situation that they're really on. But
yeah,
I would stick an analyzer on it and check it out and set the pressure, and you get premature wear of the furnace, so at least you're covered. Right?
Here's the thing, right? So I just checked just the other day, brand new Amana furnace. Low stage fire is supposed to be set at 1.6, high stage 3.5. So low stage came out of the factory running at 2.25. So I mean, is it awful? I didn't have a combustion analyzer on it. I don't know what it was actually doing, but
I've never used a combustion analyzer in my life.
We don't run them unless we absolutely need to, or if we change heat exchangers, sometimes they'll want it, but we don't do it just for giggles.
I want to. I honestly really want to buy one just to play with it because I love tools, but I got 2 heating calls last year, like 2. That's it. So
in your situation, I don't see why it's not really that much that needed, but I think where we are, I think it's beneficial to have. And sometimes, like, we have a few maintenance contracts that they actually want the printouts of the combustion analyzing. You know, they want to see it every year.
Laska
Every season.
actually said 3.5 is a nominal range. Check the
It is
So there is a range where they say to be
3.5.
They say, well, there's a range.
3.2, like Rick said, to 3.8.
But like, here's the thing. What I've always heard is, I want to start another conversation right now about like
Generators?
No, about
Refrigeration.
but like, I don't think this should be on YouTube. Like, I think we should have this conversation off YouTube.
Oh yes. It's one of those stories. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But like, they always say if you're underneath the recommended range, you have the potential of sooting up the furnace, right?
Absolutely.
Never had an issue though. I've never seen an 80% draft-induced furnace soot up. Never.
LP gas, maybe, but not so much on natural.
Natural gas, yeah. And I would say that natural draft, that's a definite possibility for sure, 100%. But draft induced, I don't think so. I haven't seen it.
Not like that.
I've had
bad, but
really old ass furnaces and stuff. I've had it where, you know, it's chunks, and it usually gets up there, like say an old G11, G12 Linux furnace, which was the clam style. They went up there as an 80%er. At the top, they have the restrictor baffle at the top. Those would get some chunks of crud up there. And that would happen sometimes, usually more on LP gas because the guys didn't have the gas set up correctly on the burners. You actually had shutters on there to adjust and stuff. I mean, these kids don't even know anything about that crap. So, I mean, you know, when I got into it about 93, 94, 93, 94, I think was some of the first in-shop burners that came out with Linux when I started. So, you know, I still had all those 1970s and 80s old 80%ers, and those all had adjustable shutters on them to adjust the air.
Yeah. Wow. Those direct fired.
Of course, we had gravity furnaces. We still got some gravity furnaces out there with no blowers on them. Believe it or not, and floor furnaces where they have no blower. Literally in the middle of the house, they have a big flipping hot ass metal chunk there, and literally just gravitates up, no blower at all.
And it's just like water, right? You know, a lot of times in the past with hydronics and just like air, you know, it's all due with convection. It's just traveling with heat rising, right?
Yep.
But that's pretty good.
It works.
Cool.
Yes, works.
Joe Shears.
I still do it to this. I still do it to this day. You know, if let's say I'm doing a hydronic system like to a heat exchanger or whatnot, and I don't want to put zone valves, you know, I'll make sure it goes high and then back low, and I'll just turn my pump on. I don't have to worry about putting zone valves. But if I see it needs a zone valve, it's not higher than the boiler, it's not higher than that point, then I'll put the zone valves. Or sometimes I'll go higher with my piping and come back down, so I don't have to put zone valves.
Joe Shears says soot is from running rich, not lean. Like turning.
I thought you could get a both, Joe. I thought you could get soot from both. In complete combustion, you're going to get soot, regardless. You know how much, you know, too much access there or too little.
Laska says NCI states 30 parts per million or less while running 6 or 9% O2. I thought, like, actually this. Yeah. I thought the parts per million could actually be higher. I thought it was like substantially higher. Actually, NCI. I could look it up, but I thought it was like almost up to 100 parts per million.
It can be. It's
100 parts per million or less.
How much?
100 parts per million is CO. That was what the government told us back in the day. Which I had anything more than probably, you know, 5 to 10. I mean, I was always kind of worried about it.
If you have something that's running beautifully, it's less than 10, right?
Yeah. Because, I mean, in theory, I mean, if you got the perfect mixture, then you're not going to have any, but generally that don't happen.
I was just telling Adam not too long ago, I'm going to be patient, so I'm going to do a video on this. Anyways, it was a carrier, and, you know, I'm there troubleshooting, and then I realized the rollout was, you know, engaged, whatever you want to call it. And
engaged as much as Chris is right now?
Sorry?
As engaged as Chris is right now?
Yeah. And I realized that it's, you know, and I knew they were known for the secondary, they probably plugged up or something. But as soon as I mentioned to Adam, Like, Adam, I went to a carrier. Oh, heat exchanger. I was like, okay.
No, he said secondary, and he said I was at a carrier that was a 95% or whatever,
Yeah.
90%, 90 plus, and he said the
I
rollout.
put my analyzer on it. He's
He
like, I
said-
didn't put my analyzer on it.
He said his rollout was tripped. I said,
Yeah.
bet heat exchanger secondary is
Yeah.
bad, 100%. And he's like, well, I got my analyzer, and I'm checking. I'm like, don't waste your time, take it right off.
On a carrier?
Yeah, I'm like, it's a secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. Pull the
I put it
blower.
on anyways. The guy was over my shoulder, and anyways, so I put it on anyways. Just wanted to confirm it, but yeah, obviously the oxygen was off. But yeah, it's just sometimes it come in handy. Sometimes it's just nice to have. Like
Which one do you use?
How else would you check a 96 plus furnace heat exchanger?
Well, a lot of times with carriers, you can go out
Visually.
you could smell them.
Sure.
And here's another thing. You check your gas pressure. If your gas pressure is within range, put your hand on top of the furnace, on the outside of the furnace.
Oh, it'll be hotter than hell.
For like a mother effort, because like you're not drawing the flue.
Absolutely.
All that
But
through.
they're not. Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you can't get that smell though, Adam, because they're not running long enough. And especially if you're not there at the house, like say it's a rental property, and they haven't realized, or sometimes you won't. I don't know, unless you go outside and
It's a nasty smell too, though. It's like
Yeah.
a freaking rotten egg. Something.
Yeah. See, I didn't smell that. I honestly didn't smell that.
You should have, or it was pretty fresh. One or the other.
That's what I'm thinking it was. I'm thinking.
Another thing you could do is if you have just like you don't even need a combustion analyzer, you could also just stick a carbon monoxide detector in the flue pipe outside. And I've seen that where it's like it pegs the freaking carbon monoxide detector.
Good point.
You start getting a couple hundred above, and it starts getting 500-600. I always yank it back out because you hit 1,000 to 2,000, and you'll peg it out, and you'll ruin your sensor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, you'll ruin it.
I know Rick, Adam, or Joe Shear, or the guys who've been in the game for a while. I know back in the day.
You don't think that I know anything about it?
It was furnaces. I don't think. I know back in the day they had those smokers. You stick a smoker in and see if there's any smoke outside the chamber.
Oh, candle, smoke candle.
Smoke candle.
We use that on oil furnaces all the time.
It's like nobody fucking uses those things. But now that I think back, like maybe.
I gotta say, Joe, you've never lived unless you've replaced a carrier heat exchanger primary.
Never have. I'll admit that. I never have, and I won't because I'm replacing it.
I got it. The first time I did it, it was like my first year in business by myself, and I'm like, I got this. And I go to carrier, and they give me like, I don't know, 15 boxes of crap, and I'm like, what is this? Why do I have so many boxes? You got to put the crap together, man.
Did you order the front plate when you did it, or did you reuse it?
No. I tell them, give me everything.
Oh, yeah, now I do.
There's like one part, like the air baffle or whatever it's called.
The thing that goes in the back that's always destroyed that had the restrictor, I forget what it's coupling box or what have you.
No, there's like a baffle. So there's like a wind baffle or something. I can't remember what it's called. But
it goes between the primary and the secondary.
You have to take it off the old one and put it on.
Oh, you're talking about on the side of the secondary so that it blows the air forward.
Right. Otherwise, it's the main limit.
That's the video I made that made me lose my channel because that didn't get changed.
Oh,
yeah.
Even on the commercial carrier heat exchangers, everything comes in pieces. And the counter guys, maybe it's because we're not in heating country, but the counter guys don't know crap. You call them and say, I need all the parts, and they just give you a heat exchanger, and you're like, where's everything else? I don't know. And then you got to ask them for breakdowns, and it's a pain in the butt.
So Chris, you've done like you do rooftop?
Yeah, I've done rooftop heat exchangers all day long. Yeah.
So like when you do that, obviously, like I don't know by you, but by me, like if you have a heat exchanger that's bad, it's like you're doing the heat exchanger, you're doing the draft motor, you're doing.
They don't get a choice. Yeah, it's all
the flame
igniter, everything,
the whole freaking train, right?
And then I order the baffles and everything, and the heat gasket and all that crap, and then I new high temp silicone. I do it all, and then set the gas valve, which was never set from the beginning, and run with it like that. But I've never ran combustion analyzers at all. I just set gas valves.
Yeah,
it's a good tool to have, like for us anyways. I think it's ideal, and I think a lot of times it should be on every new install. It should be used. That's what I think.
Well, but you need to charge for it though, so you can get your money back. Because I mean, they're a high maintenance item. Otherwise, we'll never pay for itself unless you charge them to use it every
Right,
time.
and that's where it comes sticky, because I think Adam mentioned this too, is especially even on a maintenance call or whatnot. Like, are you going to charge for an
Right.
analyzer?
We
Right?
talked about this, and there's guys on Facebook that say they do this on every maintenance call, and like those guys are the guys that don't own companies, and they're not trying to pay the bills, right? Like, I can't afford to pull out another box of BS and sit there and let do the whole go through the motions of running the combustion analyzer when there's other companies charging $50 for a maintenance, and I'm already charging over 100, right?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's hard to justify that. I would think it would be like an extra. You got to add an extra on there to do the combustion.
Well, at least hook up, know your visual, and at least hook up your manometer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Checking gas pressure, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but here's the struggle that I run into is, let's just say when people call me and ask me for help, or email me and ask me for help, like with a manometer or anything, it's people not understanding even how to use a manometer. People not understanding, especially when they're digital, how you have to zero them. You know, like
and manometers only stay zeroed. They only stay calibrated for a certain period of time.
Yeah, because they get warm or hot and they change.
Yeah.
But that's so confusing trying to explain that to people.
I don't know if they're service people though, because I'm getting really strange ones too, where the questions I'm getting is like either you haven't been through all the way through school, or you're not probably a service person, and I don't want to help the homeowner get themselves hurt.
I use. Let's just say that I used emails as a disguise. So I'm not helping people through email how to set up a manometer. So
not at all.
It's funny you say that, 'cause I just got those manometers, as you've seen, and I was just about to set them up, and then I just came on here instead. So I just got the field piece manometer, so I'm excited to start using those.
True about manometers, right? Like every furnace is different. If you're checking gas pressures, like certain furnaces, you have to reference like a combustion box, or you have to use 2 ports in certain circumstances. You're not just using one. You're not just checking the gas pressure, right?
Yeah, that too, and even in the pressure. I come to I don't deal with commercial too much at rooftops, but I know there's a few times in the past where it was dropping out, and then you realize, even big houses, you could say the commercial, the houses are huge, and you realize, you have the pressure there. Correct me if I'm wrong, before the gas valve, when the system's not on, but do you have that pressure for that boiler or for that furnace or for that rooftop when the system is running?
Or when everything in the house is running, or
when everything in the house is running. And that's key. I think that's a big, why is my unit doing this? Well, keep it on while the system's running and tell me what you have.
Well, that goes into your troubleshooting too. Again, I don't deal a lot with gas, but I mean, that's a common thing. I mean, that's almost like a common sense thing. Like, hey, you have an erratic problem you can't figure out.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's fire everything in the house and then check gas pressure. Okay, cool. We got a supply issue.
That's actually something that I haven't done that in a long time, but I think that's something that they teach you to do, is actually turn on every gas appliance in the house and check inlet gas pressure before whatever, boiler, furnace, whatever. Check your inlet gas pressure, and then you can proceed and check the gas.
So many situations, guys, I've been to, and it's not sized right. And by code, I don't know if it is where you guys are, but by code, it has to be sized that when everything's running, like you guys know, has to be sufficient amount of gas. And I've seen it many times that it's not. Either the gas line is too small, or maybe the homeowner didn't upgrade the regulator, which a lot of times that's what it is too.
Well, like the boiler call that I'm going to eventually release, it was a commercial Ultra Gold, and it has a high pressure and low pressure. So if you go above tolerance or below it, it will trigger a manual reset. And basically, he has issues during the summer months, or the mild temperatures like we are now. Yet in the winter, he doesn't have no issues because the whole town's pulling on the gas line. He's got a secondary regulator at the building, plus he has a primary before it goes into the meter. So he's actually got 2 of them, and I think you're playing a little hokey pokey. But he knows how to reset it. But it has like a cutout. I think it may be 1.5 or 2 inches, and then the other one is like 14 or 15 inches. So, it was one of them things where how am I going to catch this right now? It was working fine. So
it's natural gas and it's 15.
natural. Yeah, because they're going with the 14. I think was even with natural, that was the maximum the gas valve was able to regulate down. So it was 14. So it has like this clear.
Pretty high for natural gas, right?
Yeah, I mean, generally it's like 7 to 8 or 9 inches, somewhere in that ballpark. But it's right on the side of it. I got a picture of it, and it's a real long boiler call. So I think I'm going to do it and just show it. But it had said right on the side 14 inches. So it ran the whole time for me, and there was a bunch of other issues. But it was kind of a weirdo one.
That was an ultra boiler.
Yeah, one of the commercial ultras.
Do you have experience with ultra boilers?
More of the residential one, but yeah.
Yeah, the ones I've screwed up.
Those are easy.
They're not.
They had a common problem.
You have to stay on top of the maintenance.
Yeah, you got to clean them every year to 2 years. You got to tear that plate off and get your hacksaw blade out and clean that baby out. But if you do, it's a good boiler. I like it. It's not a bad boiler.
I don't know. I have to tell you that like the amount of money you're spending on that boiler, and then you have to do the maintenance. You 100% have to do the maintenance. I don't know if it's worth it. It just doesn't.
I don't like Navion. We sell that, and I don't like them because of how communist they are about giving you the information. They won't give you no service manuals. You have to call them for help, so you're like an idiot on the phone. I hate that. Now, Triangle Tube.
They are good on the call support, though. They do.
Yeah, they are pretty good. I mean, they do other stuff. Now, Triangle Tube, we sold that at the previous company I was at, and those are some pretty good boilers. I don't know if you've seen them before, but they're a high efficiency one, and they had the outdoor reset and all that stuff on it, and it was pretty cool. I mean, that was the only thing I had to change on was the outdoor reset when we was on mild temperatures on old houses. They were not capable of, old baseboard heaters. The house was very leaky. And all of a sudden here you come with this fancy high efficiency boiler and it just wasn't getting hot enough what they were used to, the old 185, 195 degree. So once we did that, they worked fine, but we don't sell those.
The thing is with ultras and all other condensing boilers is they're most efficient at lower temperatures.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to run a condensing boiler. If you have a condensing boiler with cast iron radiators and you're trying to run them at 180 degrees, it's probably not your boat, right? You shouldn't do it. You're not getting the most energy efficiency by running them at a high water temperature. You need to run them at a lower water temperature. Period.
Well, ain't that the reason for the primary secondary loop?
It helps for sure.
Primary secondary loop, what do you mean? Like
primary loop of the boiler?
Basically the boiler loops on itself, and then they take 2 T's into it, usually within 9 inches of each other, and they have a circulator for the main trunk line going around the building. So it basically goes in and out of that, and it just scoops the hot water out.
I understand that, but like how, like you have to feed if you're running a boiler. Like I'm so confused at. Because you have to fire the boiler, you got to run the boiler at higher water temperature, right? So, are you saying the return water temperature because of the primary, secondary?
Well, no, I'm just saying, as far as why they use it is usually because they want to try to keep the boiler hotter. I thought so that because otherwise you get that slug of cold water coming back, and then probably because they're running aluminum,
you actually want the boiler to run cooler to produce more condensation, and that's where you get your efficiency from, right?
Okay. I'm not 100% certain. That's why I wasn't 100% sure why we did it. I couldn't remember.
I come with forever. I know when you put, let's say, 2 boilers in tandem, I've come across a problem, and I learned from it of how to set those up before or without them short cycling, because I fucked up once, excuse my language, of sign up.
It's all right. We're going to erase this when we're done.
Can I grab a beer?
This bitch is getting erased.
Yeah. You just have to understand that you want both boilers to be coming on and to be able to stay on without getting too hot of a temperature, kicking them off, obviously. And I learned the hard way, and I learned from it. I'll never do that again. That's for sure.
Yeah, because they want them to run almost nonstop, I think.
Yeah. It's better to have them running than.
I'm grabbing a cigarette. I'll be right back. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Hate to interrupt you there. That's fine.
So you finished that band there, Chris? Or
What'd you say?
He's busy, dude.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up? No, I'm here answering messages and
Okay.
taking care of some.
He's
business.
famous.
I'm not.
I know.
I'm nobody.
He's famous.
How lucky we are. to
Famous
have him.
Amos.
Just
Yeah.
some dude. Nothing special.
Just finished
Yeah.
cleaning that
Cleaned my
van. Or?
van today. Got a new drill from Home Depot. See how that works out. Got a new impact.
What kind did you get?
Milwaukee
Another one? 18 or 12?
12. I bought a brushless hammer drill, 12 volt, and then the brushless impact with all the speeds and the screw setting and all that crap.
So you got it for like the 198 or whatever?
Yeah, 220 here.
Didn't you already have a Milwaukee?
Yeah,
Impact?
it was starting to break. I had a Milwaukee drill, and the case was starting to come apart. But it really wasn't that bad. In all honesty, I was just looking for an excuse to buy that impact. So
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's cheaper than buying it individually.
yeah, and then it came with a free battery, and then I bought a little. Of course, while I was there, I was like, well, I better get a job site radio too. So I got a little job site radio from
Those
Milwaukee.
are cool. I like them.
That way, I got rid of my giant giant DeWalt radio that I had in my van that was huge. I got that out of there. So.
Finally getting out of that dirty yellow.
No,
Right.
I'm still mixed there. I'm still kind of
Black
orange.
and yellow, black and yellow.
Right in
Yeah, but they got
But
that kind of
I
music
haven't
up there in Canada.
I haven't had
do.
a full transfusion yet, but it's kind of getting there. So
Yeah.
I gave up on them a long time ago when they screwed me multiple times with their crap breaking down. Now, granted, they've gotten
Really?
better. Yeah,
I've
I-
had
what
the
the-
same DeWalt 20 volt stuff for like 4 years now, and it works.
my
just
last was
fine.
the 18 volt, the old NiCad or whatever,
Oh, yeah, I
18
remember
volt.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had issues with
I had
those
one of
stupid
those.
things.
No, I've got the 20 volt. I still have in my van. I still have my 20 volt hammer drill, circular saw.
The 20 volt
flashlight.
stuff seems pretty powerful. Like, are they brushless as well, or how is the wall like 20 volts? Like,
I don't think it's brushless. I think my stuff was before the brushless crap.
okay, but now they are.
Yeah, now the new stuff I think is all brushless, but mine's.
That's all right. At least
But yeah, the DeWalt got me by for a long time. It's worked really well. I still have a grinder and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I'm slowly phasing it out, and the Milwaukee stuff's been doing really good. So
I mean, I lost my impact, so they had to give me a new one. I think it got wet. There's so much electronics in that stupid thing. It's no longer just a battery and a motor. I mean, it's got a full-blown circuit board in there with a crap load of components on it. So if you get them too wet, they'll go bad. So they had to get me a new one. So
freaking Milwaukee 18 volts, not the brushless one, the non-brushless, I guess you could say. I get those wet and kill them pretty good, and they last pretty good. They last pretty long.
I gotta say, Joe, the Milwaukee powered tubing cutter.
I love it.
yeah, I have that.
If you get it wet, man, it does not like it.
Yes, you're right.
You have to-
I wonder why.
You got to keep it above the water. It's a
Yeah,
sign.
and,
They
you
gotta-
know, and you know, just like the you could say the sawzalls from Milwaukee. I've cut into some pipes that are still full of water sometimes, and it got pretty wet, and it still kicks. It still goes.
gotta watch drywall too. You don't want the drywall dust coming down into the gearing. I've
Little
lost
bit of
them
advice
before.
too, don't be stupid and take your screw gun on a live circuit because it goes right through the screw gun. So just
Screw gun.
or your drill, whatever
Huh.
you want to call it.
do you mean
I
on a
wasn't
live-
thinking straight one time, and I took my drill and I was taking something off, and I put it on a live circuit, and it went right through the drill. It's like, whoa, damn, dude, just
Oh.
right through it.
Oh,
like,
The plastic don't protect you.
oh no
it
way.
wasn't that. No, it
Wow.
went right through the drill.
Hey, Chris Volt, do you need the manual for the 336s, or are you offering it to me? I think I have it thanks to somebody that was watching the show, so I may have it if you need it. So let me know.
Cool.
Yeah, he says he has it.
Okay. I don't. I can't. I'd have to look to see if I have it on here or not. I know someone gave me a.
offering the complete one, is what he's saying.
Oh, hey! By all means, send it to me, man. I'll take anything. It doesn't cost anything to erase it. So if I have it, I'd appreciate
PDF
that.
file? That's awesome.
to
Yeah.
get-
Anything from them is so hard to get because freaking they're dirty dogs.
Speaking
I mean,
of get,
Bill says goodbye, but let's not forget everybody needs to tune in to see his baby beardless face and his pretty blue eyes without his sunglasses. So next time,
Bill
next
is
time he's somewhere online.
he's gonna text us at 3:00 in the morning.
Well, he is only like 22,
And then I'll
23 years
answer.
old.
And then I'll wake up and I'll answer. Did you hear that story, Rick?
What about him texting you like 3 a.m?
Yeah.
Saying I love you. Good night.
Oh, geez.
I happened to look at my phone. I got up of all things. Bill had posted something like, "Hey, what's up?" or something on a chat that we have, and then I happened to like get up to get a drink of water, and you're addicted to your phone, so I picked up my phone to look at it, and I seen Bill's message, and I go, "Oh, hey, something or other," and then I said, "All right, I got to go to bed now," or something, and he sent me like a message that says, "Okay, I love you, good night," or something. It was like a meme or something, and
A GIF, yeah.
I just said dork, and then everybody just lit up after I went to bed.
Nice.
And then in the morning, I think the first thing I said was "Good morning," and I sent a GIF like an elephant saying like butter, like hearts out of his ears. I love you. That was just funny.
Funny thing is, I feel like Bill is paying us back a little bit. I think he turns off his notifications at night because, Joe, me and you are night owls, right? And Chris is 2 hours behind us, or 3 hours behind you. So he'll like Bill goes to sleep and we're talking, and his phone's blowing up at night when he's sleeping, right? So in the morning he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna wake all you."
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, because I forget sometimes that he's like 3 hours or 4 hours behind me, and it's like I'm thinking, hey, it's 11 o'clock. I'm like, oh shoot, he's probably still in bed. So yeah, kind of forget those sort of things.
So Chris, you turn off your notifications every night?
Yep. Yep.
I can only do it for people I don't know.
My phone will start blowing up, and it's like I'm trying to edit a video or something. It's like, all right, I gotta go. I'm turning notifications off. I need to focus on what I'm doing because it's like bzz, bzz,
It's
bzz,
funny
bzz.
because we don't talk to each other for like maybe 8 hours at a time. There's like no messages, and then there's like 200 messages in 2 hours, right?
I feel so left out.
Even more than
Don't.
How much are you charging to be a member of the crew?
It's at a good prime rate right now.
Is it? Hey, you finally learned how to make some money. You just pay to be on there.
That's exactly right. That's funny.
We just
We're not going to go any further with that one, but yes.
Okay.
the dudes
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Yep.
I'll
Yes.
see you later, Rick.
What's that? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a little while. Oh man.
Yeah, I got one of the manuals here. I think I might have had this one here. You know what's funny is these old turds, these are freaking still out there. But the thing bad about them, the control boards, I mean, they're so expensive. And if you ain't correct on that's what's wrong because it's doing something weird and maybe it's working on one side, not the other.
I kicked myself in the ass because I had two margarita machines, Taylor margarita machines. I can't remember the part number. And I cleaned them all up. They sat in my shop, and I tried to sell them on Craigslist. Nobody bought them. I didn't know where I was going to get. Oh, there was a shake machine and a margarita machine, and I didn't know where I was going to get the mixes and all that crap from. So I ended up just taking them to the scrapyard. They were perfect working order, and it's like, you know what? I should have kept those damn things. Dude.
Yeah,
they would have been badass for a party. They were old school too. No digital anything. All electromechanical. They just had belts. They were super easy, but I just didn't know where to get the mix from. But I had all the parts and everything, and then I tried to sell them on Craigslist. Nobody bought, so I just threw them out.
wow.
And I regret that one because I don't care about the shake machine, but the margarita machine would have been badass.
See, a shake machine can be used for margarita sometimes.
Yeah. You just have to change the dispenser heads and stuff, right?
I think so, yeah. I mean, because you aren't going to use the carburetor to modulate it through to get any air because it's just going to come down and freeze on its own. But I mean, it'll do it because you can adjust how cold it gets.
So sometimes we have these restaurants where they just make these decisions to change something within the restaurant and they just phase out stuff. So then they're like, hey, just get rid of this unit. We don't need it anymore. So we had a crap ton of them. And what happened was they actually had a company, someone associated with Taylor, not Taylor though, just like a service company or something like that, was coming around buying them up and giving the restaurant like $500 a pop. But they had left like 3 or 4 of them and they weren't going to come back or something. So then they just asked us just take them. So we took them and yeah. Anyways, I thought I was going to sell them, but I don't try. That's why I don't try to sell crap. It never sells.
Yeah, this looks pretty good, Mr. Volt. Thank you for that manual. Appreciate that. It may come in handy this next summer. Yeah, here's that darn board, the 3664 SEER one. That one's kind of a goofy one because when they came out with this new board, it freaking had a ribbon cable that was flat versus one that was round. Let's see if I block my eyeballs. There we go. See how,
Oh, cool.
yeah. See how blurry it goes? Isn't that cool?
Shannon just he wishes he had YouTube when he first started in the business. That would be awesome. Like,
That's what I was
God.
going to say too. Can you imagine how lucky these people just coming into the trade are right now?
Yeah. They can visually do a face-to-face. Dude, got this problem. Look at it. See what I got going on? What do you think's wrong with that?
not only that, like you could, like I still run into stuff till this day that I've never worked on before. That I like look it up online or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what is this?
Where to start gives you a
And even if you find a crappy video, like, you know, if you're smart enough and you're mechanically inclined, you can watch someone's video he's given incorrect information, and you could just watch how he takes something apart, what he breaks, and you could just be like, okay, I can do this. I know how to do this now. You know, even if it's a bad one, you can imagine. Just forget even YouTube. Imagine if we had video call when we were first coming up. Like, just call your boss. Hey, bud, can I put you on video? Sure. What's this? Oh yeah, do this. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't even have cell phone. Well, we had cell phones, but they were so expensive. It was like $30 for 20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
We should
Yeah,
talk Nextels.
Yeah, Nextel. That's what we were.
Yeah,
That
this
came
was
late
before
for
we
us.
merged. This was when they were still just a radio. We had
Roaming everywhere you went.
yeah, we still had those, and then they merged with Sprint, and then became all that stuff. Then they got all digital and crap.
Yeah,
But
you
that
can
was
still get that.
revolutionary. Those Nextels. I mean, even though we had two-way radios before that, but Nextels were revolutionary because you could talk to someone across the United States or in another country. You could just, you know, and then boom, someone picks up on the other end. And
I think the biggest thing is like Ricky Hertz was saying, like manuals. You know, he had hundreds of service manuals. Like the ability to download a manual and just look at a manual, because you know most equipment doesn't have the manual in front of you, the service manual in front of you. Being able to look at a manual and look at refrigeration. What is the superheat? What is the subcoolant supposed to be? How should this thing be running right now? You can have that, you know.
Beer can cold.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help, Joe. Happy to help.
No problem.
No, that's Joe Shear.
What is all that heavy breathing? Is that you, North? You got somebody tied up in the background? I keep hearing this.
Oh, is it this? Hold on.
It ain't as obvious as that one. It was more louder, I thought.
Fuck, if I'm
Right
breathing
there.
that loud, I gotta check my cell phone.
No, it might be something on the desk vibrating. And I have the headphones cranked up so I can hear all kinds of crap. So yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like you don't hear that. You probably won't because you ain't got headphones on.
I think it's his. I think it's a slight echo of the show because Joe has no headphones and it's just.
No, I don't hear the echo, but I suppose that could be the noise canceling of some sort. Right there. Kind of just sounds like a scanner in the background a little bit. And I bet you that it is. It's probably a noise canceling, I bet you.
Oh, that's what they. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I mean, you figure for it to be able to stop your voice from recirculating back into your microphone and stuff, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Of course, if you ever notice on a phone, you can literally watch a video while you're talking to somebody on speakerphone and they can't hear the video playing. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Good point.
Your wife won't sleep right now, Greg.
Yeah, she didn't feel very good.
Well,
Man, that means I
want to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep.
It's 10:30 here.
7:30 here. If I go in the other room and tell everybody I'm going to sleep, they're all going to yell at me.
Nice.
They're like, "No, you can't go to sleep yet."
Take me on a pony ride.
Yeah, take me apple picking. You know, the other night I wanted to
no, because I went apple picking, and you got to let him know about your joke so that way he knows what we're talking about. So I took my family apple picking, and there's a joke between everybody in the group that says I have this fake perfect family and we do everything perfect and la di da di da. So that's why they're picking on me, because
I thought I remember something about the apple picking days, but you know, kind of goes along with the phone not being in the bedroom thing. So you know, old Strickler dad here.
Gotcha.
yeah.
I remember those days. Yeah.
Look at her. She's actually online though. She's laying in bed, I bet you, because she's got her iPad with one of these like flexible thingamajigs that's hooked on the headboard, so she can lay on her back while she's in bed and sit there and play with the iPad. Which I usually come to bed and the freaking thing's playing a video of some sort. But Never my video, but you know.
You know, Joe Shearer said you can pretty much Google most any manual these days, and that's the truth too.
Really?
And you know, like I was showing something in my van today, and I said I've got that stupid box in the front of my van, and I said that's the worst thing ever because it just stores everything. It just fills manuals. But remember, we used to have a shelf dedicated to manuals in the backs of our vehicles. You know, just a whole shelf full of manuals, and that wasn't even enough. You know, you would change out manuals if you knew you were going to work on certain equipment. You know, and it's like now, you know, you can have every manual you've ever seen in your life and then some in this thing, you know, and store them, download them. I don't even bother downloading manuals anymore. I just Google them because
the Carrier app works really good.
The Carrier, the Carrier service literature app. That is awesome. That is an
and the Copeland
absolute ones too.
The Copeland's really kick ass too.
Yeah, Copeland Mobile.
Yeah. Now the Tecumseh one I don't think is as good, but it will get you the info.
Gives you part numbers and gives you specs, so that way if you needed to go aftermarket, you can go aftermarket. They give you the specs. Copeland has been doing a good job because in the beginning, Copeland had like 6 apps, and they've combined them, almost all of them, into Copeland Mobile now. Because they used to have a cross-reference app and all these different ones, and they're combining them all, and it's really nice.
I think that's what's cool, that cross-reference that they have in their app, the Copeland.
Yeah. And I like too that it's not just a, hey, what compressor will work? They break it down and say this is why it'll work. They give you the number, so that way you can look and say, okay, you know what? I can deal with this one. It's 400 BTUs shy. I can make this one work. You can do different things like that. So
there's actually one I just got. I never deal. You know, the odd time maybe I might come across it. Someone that hits me up because I don't deal with too much of them now. But I forget where I seen it. But I got the VRF app.
Okay.
You can actually set your parameters and stuff through this app.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I've never worked on VRF stuff, but I've seen that on my side and some of the refrigeration proprietary controls and stuff with KE2 controls. They have an internet dashboard that you can go on and completely program their controls, and that is really nice. And then like Linux with their commercial, their Prodigy boards and different things like that, you can pull those up on computers or your phone and program things too. That is really nice.
It is. Yeah.
On this VRF stuff, I'm going to sound like an idiot here because I'm not doing residential anymore very much. Is it anything different than just like a multi-head Mitsubishi system? Is that the same thing? Or is there something new they came out with?
With the VRFs? I mean,
yeah.
It's on steroids, though. And you've got branch boxes and different things like that, splitting it off. You can do pipe systems.
So it's just a Mitsubishi that I've already known about then.
But I'm talking more VRF for commercial, like the big stuff.
Well, it's City Multi.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, and then you've got variable compressors and electronic valves, and everything's basically set with computers. And
yeah, I mean, that's nothing new though. That's why I was wondering, because everybody keeps talking about this VRF stuff, and I'm like, is that new terminology, or is it just they've changed it to something else? Because I was like, you know, they've been variable compressors forever, and then same thing with their TX or their EXVs and all that, and then, you know, modulating it down to make up for more load or less load and stuff like that. But that's why I was wondering if they would, because I mean, I finally got into true, my mind just went blank, the commercial version of it where VAV, variable air volume.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just finally got to do some of that stuff. Like I think this year or last year, finally got to actually see what it was, and I'm like, this is what you guys make such a big deal about? This ain't really that fancy. Freaking boiler coil in there, and a chiller coil, and freaking dampers up and down. I'm like, this ain't that big of a deal. But yet, when you don't know about it, you're like, wow, I don't know if I could do that. Then you see it, and it's like, this is what you made a big deal about? I don't get it.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny or interesting that with the advent of VRF coming back into the picture and becoming mainstream again, it's funny though, because we were trying so hard to get rid of the miles and miles of refrigerant pipe, and they went to chilled water. You know, instead of having refrigerant pipe, and refrigerant ran everywhere. You know, you would have water ran everywhere, but now, or you know, hot water or whatever, but now they're going back to the refrigerant pipe. So it is just kind of funny that they're doing that. I think
sorry guys, it's 1 second here. Let me just get you guys back because I'm freezing up.
Yeah, you're froze.
VFD.
Dude, it's almost like you're in the north or something. You're like frozen.
I got
there you're back.
Wrong. VFD. Quick Link VFD. Sorry. I was like, that's why I'm
Quick Link VFD.
Yes.
Variable
So you
frequency
actually-
drive.
So we got
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
a whole different topic.
I know. Sorry, guys.
Joe was attempting to talk
And
about.
Joe's sitting here thinking, no, that's not what
Yeah,
I'm trying to talk about.
I'm like, okay, wait a minute here.
Wait, so there's an app for what VFD drive?
You could
I
actually,
didn't say
from
VFD
my
drive,
understanding, you could scan it, and you could scan the like that barcode or whatever, and it reads, tells you which one you have, and you could set your parameters.
I just set off the internet with the chat right now. I realize VFD drive is redundant. Okay, don't send me emails. Right, so-
Email me at hvacrvideos.com. Send me your email.
Who am I kidding? I'm not going to read them anyways. Send all read them if you want.
He's got a bot that automatically replies
No.
with random pre-made out things.
Now I'm confused though with the so you're saying there's an app, but what for our particular drive or what?
Any of the, I guess you just scan. Not my understanding, 'cause I haven't used it yet, but I'm pretty sure you could scan, because I know a lot of them I go around, you see that barcode on them, so you could just scan it and it'll tap into it.
But it would have to be the app would have to be with just one, because VFDs typically don't have communication unless they have a module hooked up to them.
Maybe they. I don't know.
It has to be for one
What
thing.
brand are we talking about here?
That's what I'm asking.
Danfoss and
What's the name of the app?
Alan Bradley or what?
Let's see what the app says. Hold on, let me see. This is all new to me, guys. Sorry.
What's the name of the app?
You sure you don't have to have the receiver part and it just Bluetooth
No, I
between that and the
don't.
So,
receiver?
guys, he's talking about washing machines. You know, you just never know.
Who knows? He never makes videos, so you can't hardly know if he really knows what he's
No,
doing.
he's
I
actually
mean,
been making some pretty cool videos lately.
I ain't been getting no notifications lately. It's
Yeah,
been
look
like
at that
got a
bill,
few
Dan.
videos.
Franklin Emerson. It's a Franklin Emerson Q-Link VFD app.
Emerson.
Look at it. I can't remember where I see it. Somewhere on Facebook I've seen it. One of the groups. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I think it's awesome.
Q-Link
I don't deal with them a lot
standalone.
at all.
Okay, so it's for Franklin Electric VFDs, is what it is.
Just look up Q. Oh, is it?
Got it. It's for a particular VFD that
Is it?
has, yeah, it's a Q-Link Franklin Electric VFD, and it has a communication built into it, and you can hook it up. Got it. Okay. All right.
Got it.
Yeah, so that makes sense. And it's smart. Okay, so it has Bluetooth built into the drive. So that is a particular VFD
Okay.
made by one manufacturer that they did put a built-in Bluetooth link in
Which
it.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that is awesome being able to do that.
Yeah.
Interesting though, Bluetooth. I don't know how secure Bluetooth is.
yeah, you'd have to have some sort of link password or something like that. I
So
got the actual
even-
control that goes on them.
Even with a password, Bluetooth, I don't know how secure that is.
The
So
range is so short though; you'd have to be within 30 foot of it.
That's true. That's
That's
not
probably why
30
they would
foot.
do it.
Depending on if it's Bluetooth 4.0, you could be 300 feet because that's how field piece works.
I thought they were actually running through. Yeah, I guess they are Bluetooth, not Wi-Fi.
No, they're all Bluetooth now. They're getting away from all the other Zigbee crap like iManifold was doing. But
Yeah, I never.
I can't wait until Bluetooth is in the tools that we're using is repeatable, because that's going to make it last a lot longer. That was the one upside that the iManifold products had, was they were repeatable. They used a Zigbee connection, and you could link 6 of them together and go across an entire building. When Bluetooth goes repeatable in the tools that we're using, that's going to be awesome. You'll get much better length or distance out of it.
Actually, Jim Bergman mentioned something about that. Like, there's
Yeah.
a new Bluetooth. I don't remember what it's called, like Bluetooth, and there's like a number after it. I don't remember what it was. But
Rotten Tooth.
it's like it's out right now. But nobody's using it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff out there. Nobody's using it yet because for whatever reason, but
Curious Chris Stefanovic. Just seen that.
yeah.
His username.
Nothing gets by you.
I know, right? Yeah. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's people in the learning right there, because I never seen that before, and I thought it was pretty neat. Because when I look at those things, I'm like, holy fuck, where do you start with these? I don't know. I don't deal with this.
John McMaster pointed out something, and
Hey,
it kind of reminded me of something that he said something about QR codes for parts, and that's something I've been noticing a lot lately too. Is a lot of equipment is putting QR codes on the front of the equipment, so you can walk up to a Manitowoc ice machine, scan the QR code. Same thing with Hoshizaki. Same
Scotsman.
thing with Green Heck exhaust fans. You scan the QR code, it brings up the full parts list. Like, that's awesome. I read
that
all
is.
the service manuals. Again,
Until they start trying to fix it themselves.
But here's the problem with like the ice.
I just watched online. You showed me how to do this not too long ago.
Yeah, well, with the ice machine manufacturers, the thing that sucks is because they put those QR codes, they don't want to give the manuals out anymore.
That's because they're saving money.
Yeah, well, because they're
being cheap.
Manuals. I always tell them I'll pay for the damn manuals. I just want the new manual. You know? Like I love holding paper in my hands. I
don't like reading it on the phone or the tablet.
The thing about reading it on a tablet, like I get it, it's efficient, it's convenient, but it's easy to flip forward and hold a page with your hand and be like, okay, wait, okay, no, I need to go back here. You know, on a tablet, oh crap, what page? Oh, damn it, I got to scroll back.
Yeah, you can mark it, and then the rain don't affect it, and everything else.
I'm sure I'm an idiot because I know I am, and I'm sure there's a way to like bookmark it and do, but I don't know how to do that.
We're just old. We're old dinosaurs.
Although someone showed me that they have this thing now. You guys might have seen it. It might be a pop-up on Instagram as well. It's this screen. You put your phone down, and there's a big screen in front of it, and it magnifies your phone to like a huge screen. It's pretty cool. It's one of
they got an app for your phone like that because I need reading glasses for the really tiny stuff, and literally you can put it on a schematic. Aeon units are real bad about. I mean, the font is like maybe a 5. I mean, it's hard to read it, and it turns your phone into basically a camera, but it amplifies it so you can read the schematic. That was a hard one to do.
Well, just like that.
Sorry, I'm gonna bounce out of here. I'm gonna go hang out with my perfect family before.
Gotta get ready for that big show. The big show.
They're all around the fire.
The
humongous picture show.
Humongous.
Not to be confused with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's not. We're not going that path. Not transvestite aliens. No. Okay.
Anal probes.
Big picture show. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna bounce out of here and go.
All right.
See my family for half an hour, then go to bed.
Cool, Chris. We'll see you next week on Friday on the Small Picture Show.
Small Picture Show. So
HVAC overtime.
All right, guys. See you later.
Later, man. Thanks.
Just like I was gonna say, just like that steam humidifier I just put in that new one from Nortec. I was telling these guys that it didn't come with no service manual, nothing, and all that's on that panel is 4 lights. It's all Wi-Fi, and you have to go through the app. I called Nortec, calling there. I'm like, okay, I'm getting some difficulties. What's going on? This is what's happening because I couldn't get it going. It's like, which model is it? And I'm telling him, it's like, I don't even have the information on this new thing. It's all Wi-Fi. I don't even have the information on this. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then it was just I just winged it. And eventually started, just tried a few things, and I got it going. But
is this an ultraviolet light or what is it?
Steam humidifier.
Oh, yeah. Why would you want that?
It's a residential one. It's like I don't know, the new H models from Nortec on there. Or whatever.
Now, do they want to do the maintenance on that steam humidifier for all the calcium, or do you guys not have calcium up there?
The water's not too bad from where he was,
but it's not. You just change the canister.
Canisters, yes. But Rick, when it comes to commercial units I work on, I recommend them. I don't care where you are, you need some kind of softener for that water because it will cause a mess and premature wear on failure on a lot of parts.
See, and I'm in the country, so I have a water softener, and I was really surprised how nice my elements looked in my electric water heater. I pulled them out, and they were mint. There was nothing on them at all. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that thing's been in since 2003. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. I mean, it's an original water heater.
You have the softener before the water coming in?
Yep, it comes straight.
Why, dude.
It comes right from the well to the expansion tank, then to my softener, then out throughout the house.
Guaranteed.
Which it needs new resin. And I thought about flipping people out and show them how to rebuild a water softener.
Well,
I've done that before. Buy the little tube that goes down in there and buy new resin. I mean, you're probably talking maybe $150, $180, and you got a new $700, $800 freaking water softener.
Yeah.
Because those Water Boss or whatever, I think they're like $500.
Sorry, guys.
The hell was that? That sounds like an air compressor.
It was.
That or the wife's toy. What the heck?
Start it up.
It ain't enough. Go faster.
That's why I don't have a wife. I worry about too much.
Yeah, you're crazy pulling out freaking air compressors on them and stuff. I mean, holy cow.
Natural gas.
Here, come here and set on this.
You know what's weird? Does Nortec or Conair or whatever, do they make? I know April Air makes a low conductivity canister.
I'm not sure.
How's this compared to Honeywell? Because that's the only one I've worked on.
Are you talking True Steam? Or are you talking their new one?
It's probably 2 years old now, but it's like a gray thing with some red on it, and they had like a little hooky job you can lift up and pull it off. I don't know. I wasn't too horribly impressed.
Is it a tank with a
Yeah.
coil on the inside, or is it like
I think so.
or is it a canister that you take out and replace?
I don't think they had a canister, did they?
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think it had an element in there. It didn't look like it was as easy to service as you're saying.
The new ones, the new Honeywells are actually, I believe, made by Nortec, which they are canisters that you replace. The old ones, the True Steam, it is an element on the inside that heats up, and that turns into a snowball. Those things are garbage. Worst freaking steam humidifiers ever made.
Chris Volt, I think I removed the anno rod long ago, so it's not even got one. We usually do that. I mean, you can change it from the piece of trash that's in there to an aluminum, because generally when you're in the country, it usually makes a stink and stuff. So we usually get rid of those, chop them right off the sawzall.
Yeah.
It ain't leaking yet. So, I mean, it's got a lifetime warranty on it too.
I have a question here. Actually, I'll ask it here for Joe and for Rick. All right. There's two questions about my house, what I'm planning to do. All right. So, Joe, I was working on my basement this weekend, and I would really like radiant heat in my basement, but I don't want to dig up the floor. Okay. And I know you have, you've clamped down pecs, right, on an existing slab. My question is, how reliable is the slab to pour on top of another slab?
Very.
How thick can you pour it?
Just cover it. Just cover it.
So like 1.5 inches, 2 inches?
Not even. The pipe, it depends what you use, 3/8 or 1/2 inch. That's it. 3/4.
We've had them on like wooden floors and stuff even.
Yeah.
And on high-end houses. I think they had a wooden, I'm pretty sure it had a wooden floor in some spots.
Because
well, if it's not the finished floor, who cares?
I'm thinking about doing so. Joe, I think you've poured them yourself, but I think I would hire a concrete.
No, we don't pour. That's someone else.
Joe can do everything.
No way. I don't pour.
Joe used to be Bo.
The Facebook.
Now he's Joe.
The Facebook.
Bo knows.
We're probably going to have Nate Adams from HVAC 2.0 coming up in the near future on HVAC Overtime. Mm-hmm. But they were actually talking about the Rheem heat pump water heaters, right?
Okay.
So I was going back. I was kind of thinking about it today. Do I go with a heat pump water heater, or do I actually, because I'm going to have a boiler, I'm going to eventually do snow melt. Do I just go with the condensing boiler for snow melt?
Since you're going to be doing snow melt?
You better go real.
Yes. But if it was just floor warming, the heat pump's good enough. It'll give you your 120, even below. You don't need 120, you need 10, whatever it is, 5. It's good enough. But yeah, I would go boiler.
Yeah.
Do them both. You could just branch off, keep them stubbed off, and then put the size it for snow melt in the near future. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it was good today.
We've even used freaking pool heaters. Was it a pool heater? Yeah, I think pool heaters for our snow melts before.
Really?
For like a sauna. It's an outside one. We literally put it on the roof of a bank and pump it straight down the wall and then out and about. But circulators are down below. But yeah, it's freaking exposed in the air and everything. I don't remember the name of it. I'd never seen them prior to coming here. We do all kinds of weird stuff here. But.
So I guess you would branch off to a heat exchanger, like.
No, it's heated inside of the unit, but it's got glycol obviously in it. And it goes down into like a closet room, and it has some, some Taco freaking circulator pumps and pumps it on out through the.
But you're also heating the sauna, so the sauna is.
No. It's made for a sauna, but they used it for snow melt.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
I've seen people do radiant heat for a basement with a regular natural draft water heater, and they pull the drain on the water heater, they put in a T and they tie in a circulator pump to the bottom of the water heater. I've seen them do that before.
Probably run the living piss out of it trying to keep up.
Joe shake his head. Well, because realistically, like a water heater, if you have a small basement, let's be honest,
Probably be enough.
yeah, you have a small basement, you don't need that many BTUs, and
It'll do it.
and you don't. I mean, what temperature are you trying to get? Right, you don't need that temperature.
Yeah.
I guess so. If it's really small, yes, because that's what we do for small basements now. Like I'll put in, a direct fired water tank, right?
Yeah.
So it's good enough. 60 gallon, 50 gallon, whatever it is, and it does domestic and your floor warming.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We talked a lot of technical stuff today.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of shit. I really wish I was going to leave this up because, I mean, it went better than what I expected, but the beginning sucked. I mean,
What happens if you do leave it out? Like, what's the worst that can happen?
I don't know. I guess we had some cussing here and there and stuff like that. I mean, it was pretty bad on the first one. I didn't know I was live. My true colors came out.
We swear every week and overtime.
How can we cut that out?
I know, but when I get upset, it all flies off. You'd be like, he never does that in his videos. No, I
Yeah,
don't.
that's normal. People gotta know that's
got
real life.
upset on the last stream. You didn't get upset in this one. When we were leaving the last one, I heard you were yelling.
Oh, I knew that you were the only one. I thought you were the only one who could hear it, but it sucks when everything works fine and you're trying to do it professional and then everything goes to shit. I mean, it just plain sucks. It's like,
We're all HVAC guys. We're not these freaking gamer dudes that know how to do this crap.
Yeah.
problem is she says stuff to people, at church, things like that. That's like, hey, we're doing this live stream. And it's like, you don't need to be telling people this crap because you never know what we're going to say.
Yeah. I'm at 5%. Just to warn you guys, I'm at 5%, so I might die soon anyways. I'm getting out of here in 5 minutes. I'm at 5%. It's getting dark already.
I thought you said you're going to die. It's like,
one of my son's friends, my wife was talking to him, and I guess his dad does HVAC, but he's a union guy. And she was talking to him, and what do you do? Blah, 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 this and that. And she's like, oh, my husband has his own company, and he has an HVAC stream. I'm like, you don't need to be going to telling people that.
You know what? It's funny you say that before this thing dies. The gentleman that called me, we had a good conversation, a long conversation, but overwinded. But regardless, I'm gonna go probably check out his equipment. I told him to call people to install it because he's saying he might get a 10-year warranty on parts. I'm like, okay, call him, see what they say. Do you ever hear that 10-year warranty? Do you ever give that
10-year parts warranty?
Yeah,
on everything we sell, we register it.
That's awesome.
It's free. It doesn't cost them anything.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Ricky Hertz was talking about in condos, they use water heater for hydro air. Yeah, they used to use they were called Apollo systems.
Oh yeah, I've worked on those before.
Now A.O. Smith owns them, I believe.
Aerosmith, yeah, they're popular. Aerosmith now.
What's AVD saying there?
I was gonna say
Indians,
I don't want to go to his house because he knows I'm on here, and we have to do a good job for probably wants a cheaper price. And he's gonna critique everything because you're on here, right? But I'm like, I gotta know.
Who is this?
Sorry,
who is going to critique
the guy
you?
who just called me today, the individual that see me on here.
Yeah,
you gotta pay the premium.
Sorry,
you gotta pay the YouTube premium.
I might
exactly. You're not paying me for what I did. You're paying me for what I've learned.
Sales tax, overtime premium.
Pay me for who I am.
I give half a shit, and most people don't. That's worth at least triple. So,
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, nobody cares anymore. That's the biggest problem I see right now.
We talked about this on our show. The job, I think Joe just died, but we talked about this. The job I was working
blowing smoke. Look at him. Looks like a diesel truck.
in the attic in Chicago, and my helper was saying, like, I know you do better work than a lot of people. And I said, yeah, the sad thing is this job that we're doing, the homeowners will never see it. They will never come up here. They will never see it.
But it don't matter.
Right, exactly.
I see it. I mean, I'll hide my name in certain places. Like up in my attic, I've got my name and the date I did the wiring up there. I love coming back. For a while there, I was using an Omega symbol I'd put on a furnace, and I come back here 20 some years later, and it's like, I've done this furnace. I don't remember it, but that Omega symbol is mine. I put it on there. Little code things like that. So it don't matter who sees it. I mean, you see it. I guess it just depends on how much pride you want to take in your work. And I think that's the biggest thing that I always try to do is do it to the best of your ability. You know, who cares what the other guy does? You know, there's times where I want to cut corners, but as soon as I do, I start to do it, and it's like I can't do that. I have, I'm too hard on everyone else. I can't do that. So then you just do it right.
That's like Chris talks about that. He said it multiple times. He's like, don't give the other company ammo to talk crap about you.
Yep. Yeah, I'm hard on people. I mean, people hated me because, if you don't do a good job, I'm not afraid to tell you, dude, that looks like crap. You need to fix it. It looks bad. You ripped them off. They paid good money. They need the job done right. Maybe it doesn't affect it, but I would be pissed if I paid that kind of money and you did a half-assed job. I call it out. It is what it is. But now I'm not in a position where it really matters. But still, you just got to try to do your best. I mean, like I said, the biggest thing right now I'm seeing is nobody cares. And what sucks is I try to give that service to other people, but I never get it in return when I have to hire somebody for something.
True.
It sucks.
True.
And it's usually very few things I can't do. Like I don't know how to really do carpet right because I don't have the tools, and I've seen it done. Linoleum, concrete work, those are some of the few things. Maybe it's fascia and stuff on the outside. Those are things that I'm not real good at, and it's like I paid somebody and then they still didn't do it right. And it's like
I paid a guy to do what are they called? Ingress, egress windows in the basement. Like we never had like deep well, like the window wells.
Dug it out.
But we were planning on doing bedrooms in the basement. So I had him dig it out, put window wells, and he was supposed to tie in, put a drain in the bottom and tie it into the drain tile. Well, it looked beautiful. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. It looks great. But then like the rainy season in the spring hit and my basement, we never had a drop of water, not one drop of water in the basement since we lived here in 10 years. And then as soon as the spring hit and the rain started, we flooded like inches of water.
Did it come through the window or did they script the parameter tile?
It started filling up the window well and it started coming through. And I called the dude back. I'm like, what is going on here? So he came and he drilled a hole underneath the window. So we come into the basement and then he drilled a hole down. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I called this other dude because he's like, yeah, you need to do drain tile. I'll charge you 15 grand for drain tile.
Holy crap.
So I called this other company out and he came out and he's like, I'll tell you what's going on. And he sent a camera through and he's like, your drain tile's broken where the windows are. So they ended up, I'm like, I paid him to explore. He dug out the window wells, and what the dude did was he dug down to the clay drain tiles and he just cracked them with a hammer and stuck a pipe right there. And he backfilled everything with like dirt. And then the last like 3 feet he did rock. So the drain tile got clogged.
That's reverse.
Right. Like he did a real shitty job with everything. So I ended up having to get drain tile done. I did it with another company. That was another thing. But then the company that did the drain tile, they didn't backfill enough in the back corner with gravel. So they filled in some of the holes with cement.
Oh, jeez.
So there's like one little corner that gets a little bit of water now. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit. And then I had hardwood flooring done. And when you have tongue and groove.
True. Hardwood.
Yeah. You go from one room to the other. They give strips that you could put in between the two wood. So you could switch direction of the flooring. And he didn't use that. So now when you walk on the floor in one spot where he switches it, doesn't use the grooves, it like bounces. It's
nice. Now, see, the guy that just did my recent carpet, because we finally did the rest of the house, he used duct tape to put in between his foam padding, and I can hear it go crunch when I walk through there. And I know he was going the extra mile to try to make it so that they wouldn't possibly raise up and some other stuff, but I hear this crunch noise. I'm like, that sucks. But yeah, and this guy did a really good job. The first one I had, they literally came and ripped it out because, I could see it. They're like, well, it's because the windows are letting light in. I'm like, I don't know why you guys went this direction when you should have went this direction. I said, the guys that did it before, it lasted almost 18 years, the original carpet, and I never had no issues, and it didn't even show. I said, this crap here is not even a year old, and I said, it's showing like crazy. And they came out and inspected it. And So this new guy, he did a really, really good job. So he ended up doing my stairway down to the basement. He ended up, you know, I thought about hiring him for doing the linoleum. I like to change it all to either the imitation hardwood or freaking something real or tile or whatever. But yeah, I'm always just leery about hiring people because it never fails. I always get
I
screwed.
feel like you have to get a recommendation from somebody that has like
I did. My floor out in my garage, basement, or barn, whatever you want to call it. These guys actually work full-time concrete work, and I got a good price. And they ended up not having the freaking auto leveler thing. I forget what the heck it's called. I had to go rent one, and this one had concrete on the bottom. They weren't smart enough to take it out in the driveway and run it and break it loose so that it'd be smooth on bottom. So they ended up doing the whole thing by hand. So my floor goes, and then water was actually sneaking in through the door. So it's been a disaster. So yeah, that was the biggest screw job because you had $1,000 in concrete, it had $800 in labor, you know, and they agreed to do it. And the other guy that told me about him has a bunch of rental properties, and they did a real good job. He said on the front porch and things like that. And I thought I was going to be all right, and it turned into a disaster. So I paid with that mistake for now. Last 4 years.
Buy cheap, get cheap.
Yeah, but I mean, these guys did it every day, and he showed me his work. He showed me they had stamping. I mean, they did some really good stuff, and no problem, Joe. And you know, he showed me all this work, and I'm like, oh, okay. So you know, I'm like, I don't need it to be absolutely perfect, but I just like at least level. I like it not to have water come in. So you know, whatever. It just never fails.
Yeah.
So do you want to know any more about that generator thing, as far as the load shed?
I know nothing about. I don't know anything about generators in general. But yeah, it would be cool to know something.
Yeah, the only difference is, okay, like that one is built into the load. Oh shoot! Hold on a minute here. I think I just unplugged my camera by accident. Yeah, I did. Hold on a minute. That ain't good.
You left. You can come to my house and help me hook up a generator.
Yeah. Hold on a second here. Freaking. It's always something.
It's always something, guys. There you go. What the?
There you go. I was stretching out, getting a little too comfortable. Ended up freaking triggering, hit my freaking cable because my camera's powered by a fake battery or whatever, so that I can run in unlimited. And basically, I pulled it out, and I'm like, I just went blank. So anyhow, back to the load shed thing, the way it works. They got another newer, I shouldn't say newer because they had it before I even came where I'm at, so it's been at least 6 years. They got a little plastic box. It's got basically a contactor in there, and the contactor is powered with 120 volts or 240 volts, depending on what circuit it is. So it's constantly powered shut, which you would figure it would hum a little bit. Well, they got a circuit board in there that monitors the frequency that it's running at. And so you can literally go through there and set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the priority level that you want it to be at. And so if the generator sags and the voltage or the frequency drops, it literally will drop those out, and then they'll bring them back on. And then if it triggers so many times, it'll lock out for so long. And then basically it staggers it back on depending on the priority level that you got it. So they've got that type of load shed. And then they got the one that actually goes in the transfer switch that you got like 4 dry contacts that you can break low voltage terminals to air conditioners or anything you want to put a contactor in there to control it. So those are the two that basically Generac's got. Nothing major that hard. I mean, we used it on, like, say, a geothermal that was all electric, where we had, it was probably 80 amp circuit grand total. Basically, we let the compressors run, and then we'd shut down all but maybe one set of strips. So that's how we were able to do that on a big circuit system like that, and still run it with a smaller generator. So
I know we've been on here for a while, but I want to, we're probably going to be getting off shortly, but I want to ask you really quickly. I've never looked into wiring a generator. I know that like certain houses that I see that have like the separate panel next to it, that has the individual circuits on it. Like if a furnace is hooked up to the generator, it's on the second panel. It's not on the first panel anymore.
Correct. So you've got your regular panel here with all your normal circuits. So you find the circuits that you want on the generator. What you're going to do is those breakers are going to get unhooked. You're going to pull the wire out, and then it's going to have another transfer panel. The transfer panel is going to be powered off of one, say, 60 amp, 80 amp, 100 amp breaker. So you're going to have one heavy gauge circuit coming over to neutral and two hot legs coming over to feed the transfer switch. You're going to take all those individual ones that are just from the main panel.
But like, where on the main panel? What powers that?
You're just going to get a big 230 volt breaker. I mean, depending on what size switch it is, it might be a 100 amp, it might be a 60 amp. Just depends on how big your generator. Most of them are all 100 amps, 100 to 200. Just depends. But generally, like the smaller ones are going to be like 100 amps on average. So you may have a 100 amp breaker feeding this sub panel basically. So you're just, and this thing comes with a whip in it. So it has all these 12 gauge, 10 gauge wires, and maybe even some 14s possibly. And so all you're going to do is you're going to unhook these breakers over here in your main panel that you originally had. You're going to wire nut them together. That's just going to put a pigtail over here to another regular breaker. And that breaker in the sub panel is going to now feed your furnace, your water heater, your whatever. And that whole panel there is getting fed from a bigger 230 volt breaker. So that's how they're doing it on those little dinky ones.
There is no breaker then for your furnace on your original panel. Now the new breaker is on your sub panel.
Correct. And now you have an available empty spot there.
And the circuits that you bring over to your transfer switch panel or whatever you would call it, those are the circuits that are actually powered from your generator, right?
Yeah, they'll be powered because transfer switch is a single pole double throw switch. So you've got the transfer switch here in the middle, so to speak, and so you got your utility here and you got your backup here. So it's over here. When it transfers, it breaks. The one comes over to here. The neutrals are all tied and bonded together. So it's just literally going to be one or the other. It's how you have absolutely no way to backfeed in between it.
And there's never a main. There's usually, from what I've seen, there's never a main breaker on the transfer switch panel.
Not on a small transfer switch panel, but you get in a whole house transfer switch panel, you'll have on average at least a 200 amp breaker. And then that basically then feeds then to the transfer switch. So say you got, coming off the pole, you're coming down, you come into the meter, out of the meter. A lot of times that's where we'll intercept it. And then we'll come out of that over to basically your transfer switch. Run it into your common leg of your switch. You come out of that back to where you intercepted it on the original panel. So you're basically looping it over and back again. Then here comes your generator coming into that transfer switch on the other leg. So that transfer switch is either going to let the power flow through it and back out, or it's just going to basically the generator is going to kick on and kick over and down. It's really not complicated at all. They're using 12 volts to literally make the transfer switch transfer over and back. The switch itself is powered by the power of either the generator or the power of the utility. So, and then they got a little ice cube relay in there to transfer it, and they got like a rectifier built right into the coil and everything. It's really simple the way they got it. They've done such a better job since the beginning.
And I'm gonna have to get with you on this, because I would like to do my own myself. I don't want to pay someone to do it, and
it's easy.
I'm extremely familiar with relays, and
you don't even have. I'm giving you a lot of information you don't even need. So I mean, you just follow what they tell you. If you go with the Generac, that's what I know. The Kohler, I've been through their class a long time ago, but I don't work on them, and I'm not very good at them because I don't. I haven't got much experience on them at all. But the Generac is a lot better than what it used to be. I would have originally said just go with the Kohler and pay the extra money, but the Generac's gotten pretty decent now. I mean, they still got their issues, but
sizing a generator.
What's that?
How do you go about sizing a generator?
You find out what your total load is. They got a worksheet for it, and then you calculate up what your total needs are. You got to remember, you got to figure it out on your total inrush and stuff like that. Technically, they got multiplication problems in there to figure out what you want and stuff. And I don't remember all the mathematics behind it, but depending on how extreme you want to go, I mean,
I would like to power my whole house. Let's be honest. Who doesn't? Right?
If you're going to spend the money, go ahead and get the biggest they got. I mean, they need you to decide, do you want to go air cooled or you want to go liquid cooled? If you want badass, go liquid cooled. It's going to be quieter. It's going to last longer. Less, it's just going to be more reliable. I mean, it comes with you can either get them with Ford, Chevy, or freaking one of the other foreign type motors, and literally those are some. But if you don't lose power much, I just go with air cooled. Otherwise, I mean, liquid cooled's a lot more money.
I lose power once a year, but I mean, how much more money is it? You know what I mean? Because my mindset usually is go big or go home. That's the way I roll.
You can go online and search. I mean, you can literally buy some of that stuff online cheaper than what you can straight from Generac. We literally bought ours from Home Depot, where I was at before. And literally we tell Home Depot, hey, we need 4 generators, and they literally would take it to their contracting bid room, and they literally would bid on the job for us, and they would sell it to us cheaper than we could buy it from Generac. And that's where we got a lot of our generators at. I mean, we sold cheap, we bought cheap, and then that was how we made our money. But that was the previous place. Here where I'm at now, we don't sell a bunch of them, so that's why I'm getting rusty on a lot of it. So yeah.
Well,
but that was my escape when I was bored of just plain old residential HVAC. So that's why I did it, because I was bored. So now I've got all kinds of different things to do, which obviously is why I'm showing all this weird stuff on the.
If it's just basic wiring and running gas to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not a novice thing to do. You wouldn't recommend it to a newbie doing shit, but.
Well, a lot of homeowners will literally have an electrician wire certain things up, maybe a plumber come run the gas or whatever. We had all that stuff. So, I mean, we would just size it up and be done with it. But I think usually about inch and an eighth, I think, does most things. Also depends on whether you're close to the regulator and stuff like that, how far you are from it. Then you got to make sure your meter's capable of handling it too, because most residential meters, I think, are 250 or 300,000 BTU is all it can do. And if you get a big generator, some of those can pull 250,000 BTU by themselves. So you got to have a big enough meter to handle it. So you may need to upgrade that. So that's something you got to check into also.
Now,
it should be on the meter.
Is it a constant gas?
It'll vary, but I mean, you got to have that surge power and stuff. So when you do have those big surges, that it can handle it. I've had times where they'll put like a check valve out there for in case, like, say somebody runs over your gas meter and it's supposed to slam shut. It's like a safety valve, and it's supposed to shut the main off if, like, say the meter got ran over. I've had times where those stupid check valves have gotten defective and they started clamping down. And I'm sitting there checking the gas pressure on this generator, and it's literally pulling and running in a negative gas pressure because the engine's pulling on its intake stroke harder than what the gas pressure is there in it. And that was one of the wildest things. They're like, it can't run in a negative. I'm like, I have a video of it running in freaking negative pressure because the intake stroke was so powerful versus the flow of gas coming into it. But yeah, once again, getting sidetracked, telling you all kinds of different stuff. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll pick your brain. You could help me do this.
I make it look believable. But yeah, I'll help any way I can. If not, I know where we can find the stuff at. I literally was commercial certified for the longest time, and that's where I really learned the most at was when I went back to school for the commercial certification, because that was I don't know, that's where they seemed to really finally start stealing a lot of the information from the commercial side and then started putting in their residential. I mean, they fixed a lot of their battery charger issues, circuitry layout. They fixed a lot of different issues and pulling power from certain areas. And that's where I learned the best, the most from was when I studied for that one, because that was a lot longer class than what they do for the residential. But yeah, like I said, I just don't work on them as much as I used to.
Yeah, I never worked on them.
Yeah, you ain't missing a lot. I mean, if you like what you're doing, then you don't need to really get into it. Because I mean, my whole thing that I don't like is if we're not selling a bunch of them, then we shouldn't sell any. Because I mean, it's a hassle to try to keep up on it.
I would just like to be cheap and install it in my house and not pay someone to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just do it. I mean, it's not rocket science. I'm sure you have a pipe threader. I mean, are you guys able to run gas line and crap where you're at?
Yeah.
So screw it, then do it. Yeah, you just tap into it and do your thing. I mean, usually we'd cut it outside, rethread a pipe, put a T in there at the meter, and move on and run it over there. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy to hear some of these, areas where everything's so locked down to where you got to hire an electrician for this and a plumber for that, and We don't have any of that kind of stuff. I mean, we got the people that are certified, but we ain't like that crazy. We can do a lot of the stuff ourselves.
Mel writes like you should have a plumber here running gas line, but I run gas line every day of my life. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they allow us to do so to a certain extent, but like what's the difference between a certain extent and as long as you size it correctly, which is not rocket science, you know?
Yeah. And just work your way backwards is what I always did. It's
Yeah.
the easiest way. That way you get plenty coming in. But yeah. Yeah, well, any way I can help out, man. Hell, maybe I can come over and help you put it in, whatever. So
Like,
only like 4.5 hours from me, so it ain't a humongo deal.
make a video.
Yeah, exactly. You know, how not to do it. So yeah, that'd be fun. Ride the motorcycle over or something like that.
Yeah.
When it's a little warmer. Right now, it kind of sucks.
Right.
So, but yeah. Well, we're dwindling down to 40 people. Maybe we should shut this turd off. I appreciate all the people out there stuck with us and stuff. I apologize. Everything kind of sucked in the beginning. We had a cool intentions of an awesome show, and everything was going to be perfect because we finally got a chance to go through it. Got the new lens, as you can see, like the danger sign that I got, and that's perfectly blurred out, and that worked the way I wanted. And you know, the lighting looks pretty good, and my face ain't overexposed. Everything's great, and then everything went to crap with the freaking program. Kind of sucked. So whatever. These are not the ones that I try my best at. I try, but you know, these ones just didn't work out very good. But it happens. So, well, let's go ahead and freaking shut this turd down and flush it. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, so let's wrap the turd up and polish it. I appreciate everyone coming in. If you guys want to go ahead and hit the like button, I'll still try to determine whether I want to leave this thing up or not. It's one of them things where it was so bad, I really hate putting something out that looks so bad as what it has. So, well, thanks a lot, guys. Adam, thanks for coming in. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, North. I appreciate all you guys coming in, making the chat fun and interesting. So, till next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.